There we go, so it should be recording if OBS hasn't shit itself.
Can only hope.
I haven't used it in quite a while, so it might not work, but it should. I've messed around with way too many settings to try and get certain things to work for other YouTube projects. So, hello, if you're watching this, mostly hello Bruce, because you'll probably watch this to catch up, or at least say you did. And do we actually have a name for the campaign yet, other than world domination?
No, still thinking about that.
So, welcome to Untitled D&D campaign that's gone wonky from session 1. Quick recap, we have a couple of players. We're short a player or two today. Got myself playing Regnak the Wanderer, a Kenku Rogue Paladin, which is a weird combination to actually say out loud. We've got Gary playing Lazard, a weird wizardy nerd dude. We've got Bruce, who's away at the moment. He plays a Warforged fighter. And then at some point we should be getting joined by Megan?
Maggie.
Yep, her. Who's potentially playing a bard, but characters haven't been made yet for that one. So we'll see what happens with this one. So, story so far, just to bring everyone up to speed. Regnak and Lazard woke up in Afag dungeon, prisoners of what transpired to be a hobgoblin with a small goblin army. After a somewhat questionable escape, because despite being a rogue, apparently I can't use my thieves' tools. We managed to have a little wander around, get a little bit lost, and we came across what was a hobgoblin captain. After a short fight with the naked hobgoblin, which was mildly disturbing, we defeated him, and we're on our way out, where we entered a corridor that was full of about 30 goblins. And in sort of a panic, my character Regnak, with his double proficiency in deception, decided to try and convince the goblins that he was their leader slash god, and that they all work for him now. And somehow it worked, entirely breaking the campaign in the first session, which Chuck, the GM, I imagine, found quite entertaining. We'll call it that one. And so the plan began. We escaped the dungeon to the nearby town of Burnsville, with some very questionable characters in it, where we hatched the plan that, well, hold on, if the goblins think that we're their leaders, why don't we use this to our advantage? Because Lazard has various plans and a good little dungeon, or as you can probably see on the map, library of dark secrets and manga. He can study magic, so Regnak invited him to be the court magician, basically. And we returned to the dungeon, spruced it up a little bit, and we've sort of got things into some sort of a working routine. So I'll quickly go over what we've got. Where's my cursor? On the wrong monitor. So up at the top right, because I can ping, because Roll20 is kind of cool, we have Bruce's Fungeon. This is the dungeon where we first woke up, which has 3 cells, currently being guarded by one of the goblin captains, Raintalker, and his little squad of goblins, with Damascus, who's being played by Bruce, in his room next to it. Main goblin living quarters down here. They're currently occupied by Mosik the Shadow. He's a level 1 goblin ranger, and he's got his gobos. They're sort of on rest. Regnak being, the goblin king right now, not quite as musical as other goblin kings that have existed in the past, but he gets the throne room, and then Lazard gets the library of dark secrets and manga, not magna. Got a vault where we keep all our monies. Got an armory where we keep all our stabby stuff. Sentry post at the entrance where a goblin barbarian and his squad are currently on guard duty. That's Grimjaw the Bloody. Then they've got a weapon stash / quick response force room as well. Got a kitchen for making our food. Got a dining area for eating our food. A bunch of corridors that don't really do much. 2 stairways that are blocked off. And our little friend Hubert, the gelatinous cube, who we actually captured last session and almost died to his big brother or dad. I don't know, it was a big one. And the tank decided to walk away from combat, leaving the rogue to get punched in the face, which almost killed me in 1 hit. But that's by the by. So this is the state we're at, where we have established our layer, so to speak, and we're slowly coming to terms with we're probably not the good guys in this campaign. And last session we met a few of the townsfolk, upgraded some of our gear, so we'll cover the gear we've got when we sort of go over the characters. We recruited Damascus because Rek forged a note from... Basically, Rek and Damascus knew each other from their days working with mercenary forces, where they both served under... I don't have the note. But it was a general they both served with, and basically Rek, being a Kenku, can mimic people's handwriting, so...
It was Lafayette.
Oh yeah. Gilbert? Lafayette? Lafayette, thank you. So basically, Rek forged a note pretending to be from Gilbert Lafayette and telling Damascus to report to Afag Dungeon and to serve under Rek as a favour because Damascus saved his life. Damascus is 100% under the impression that this is a genuine note, so if Bruce watches this far in the video, we'll know because he'll realise he's been duped. Then when we got Damascus, we went to the Fallen Monastery, which was to the east of... Yep, to the east of Burnsville, where we captured our gelatinous cube, because one of the things I'm trying to do now is establish this base into a proper routine, make it defensible, and make it livable, so we wanted gelatinous cube to just flop about cleaning up all the shite, basically. And then, after almost being killed by another gelatinous cube that was fully grown-ish, we retreated back to our dungeon because our objective was met, and that's about it. We have an armory, which we're using a character sheet for. So we have 30 sets of leather armor, 15 scimitars, 16 short bows, a spear, and a longbow. Some of which was loot, some of it was the goblins just had on them anyway. And that's all the weapons we have to sort of distribute between our guys. Well, goblins. Goblins aren't people. And in the vault we have a grand total of 40 gold at the minute. Because I spent quite a bit of money getting myself and Damascus some proper gear. And I also got uniforms for all my goblins that we still need to pick up yet. Basically I got them all surcoats so we could look like a knightly order, despite, you know, being tiny little horrible goblins. And each of my captains got a different one, so let's cover the captains. Oh, okay, I won't scroll down too far on the map because it looks like Chuck's still building stuff. Let's go over Rain Talker. I'll make it a little bit bigger so he's a bit, character sheet's a bit easier to see. So he is a goblin level 1 druid. All the goblin captains have the acolyte background because they all come from this place. Reasonable level 1 stats, 16 dex, 15 wisdom, 14 con, the rest is irrelevant, to be honest. You can see skills on the screen, I'm not going to go through them all. And he just has general stuff. He's got leather armor, a wooden shield, and a scimitar. His spells will be Druidcraft, so he can predict the weather, hence the name Rain Talker. Guidance, so he gives people a bit of a buff. Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, and Fairy Fire. And I'll click onto there, and you can see no idea who actually drew this. I stole it off Google Images, so props to the person who drew it so I could steal it from the internet, basically. That'll go for pretty much all the character art in this thing, other than some mild Photoshop I've done. So eventually, once I've got his surcoat, I will Photoshop his surcoat onto him. Then we've got Mosaic the Shadow. Again, not my artwork, somebody else's, so thank you for drawing it and being able to find it on Google Images. They are a Ranger level 1 Goblin. They've got a when I can speak, 2 short swords, longbow, leather armor, a bunch of arrows. Favored enemies are elves and dwarves because they're a goblin, it makes sense. And their natural explorer is mountain. And they have pretty much ranger spec skills. 17 dex, 14 con, 14 wisdom, who cares about the rest? Last captain is Grimjaw the Bloody. Once again, stolen from Google Images. Well done for creating awesome art. They are a level 1 barbarian. Although, weird enough, going dex-based barbarian for now. Because basically I ran a dex-based goblin barbarian before and I quite liked it and I think it works. It helps get their AC up. And once you get sort of level 2, the negatives you get to the hit by switching to strength when you rage is actually negated by reckless attack and giving yourself advantage to hit, and the damage stays the same. It's basically for the AC because they've got an AC of 16 when they're not even wearing any armor or carrying a shield, so it makes them a bit harder to hit, so they should survive a little bit longer. And being goblins, as long as they're attacking a medium or larger creature, they can add their level to damage once per long rest. That also helps buff their damage up as well. Other characters, there's none sort of like notable NPC characters that will be interacting in the dungeon. But he's not in the dungeon, Chuck. He's in the village. I'll bring up Keith, don't worry, there's always a Keith somewhere. But I was actually still going through the dungeon.
Fair enough.
So we might as well start with the PCs, and then don't worry, we'll get on to Keith after that. So Regnak the Wanderer. This is one of the images I've photoshopped because I've put a symbol on the shield that he got from the Hobgoblin Captain, and he's actually armed with a rapier, so I photoshopped that on. Originally this artwork had a scimitar and no logo on there. But Regnak the Wanderer, he is a Kenku rogue, paladin, multi-class. Originally was a rogue. He comes from a criminal background. Being a Kenku and having his forgery abilities, he learnt very quickly that he can mimic other people and he can lie and get what he wants that way. But he's always had like a secret craving for power, and he basically eventually wants to become like an epic hero in the Bard's Tales. He wants, future generations to sing of his glory, and he's kind of got delusions of grandeur, and he's a bit of a kleptomaniac because being a Kenku, he likes the shiny. So he started off as a rogue, where he's got 17 dex, 13 strength, 12 con, 8 intelligence because he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, 11 wisdom, and 14 charisma. For his expertise for being a rogue, I went deception and thieves tools. So he gets a +6 to deception. Thieves tools, when it's dex based, gets a plus. My brain's stopping as I'm doing maths, bear a sec. +7, that's the one. He gets all the basic stuff from being a rogue, the expertise, the extra skills. And then when he leveled up to level 2, which was after we escaped the dungeon. It was before we went into town, I think, wasn't it, Chuck?
Yep.
Yeah. I originally multi-classed into fighter, but I recently, thanks to Gary, received, what's the book called again? Xanthar's Guide to Everything, which has the Path of Conquest Paladin in it, which is where I realised my character was actually going. So we kind of retconned it, so instead of multi-classing into fighter, he multi-classed into Paladin. Which gives him proficiency in, armors and shields, which means he's allowed to use a shield. You may notice that his AC is quite high for a rogue paladin, because we spoke to a blacksmith, we got him studded leather armor, and his shield is a +1 shield, giving him 18 AC because of his high dex, basically. No spells as of yet. Kind of chaotic neutral because he only really cares about his own power. He doesn't really. Survival and power are sort of his main goals. I've got a bit of loose change on me. That's about it. His sort of the direction he's going is multi-classing between Paladin and Rogue. I'm going to get them both up to level 3 before I decide which full path he's going to go down. But it'll probably be quite balanced if I'm honest. I'm probably going to do Rogue next, then Paladin, then Rogue, then Paladin. Then I can get down both sort of trees, so to speak. I'll do Damascus as well, because we don't have a Bruce here to introduce him. This is Damascus, the Warforged fighter. See more artwork stolen from Google Images, but I've photoshopped onto the surcoat that he's wearing, which has the symbol of basically the quote-unquote knightly order that we're forming, or unknightly order, which is the crow with a rising sun, which is symbolizing the Kenku rise to power. And I paid an exorbitant amount of money to a tailor in town, Taylor the Tailor. They have an insane AC right now, which is the same as their health, because one of the ways Warforged work is that their armor becomes part of them, and Chuck as GM sort of agreed that they'd be able to meld the shield they're wearing into their forearm, leaving their hand actually free for use for weapons. So being Warforged, they get +1 to their AC, wearing chainmail. Let me get rid of a few things off my screen, sorry. And when we spoke to the blacksmith, basically the options for upgrading our shields was we could make it a +1 and it'd still count as light, or we could have a shield +2, but it would count as heavy armor, which would have all the disadvantages for stealth and stuff like that. So that basically I wouldn't be able to use it. Because, well, I could, I'd just have disadvantage on stealth, and my guy's kind of all about stealth and scouting, so. AC of 22, 16 strength, 16 con. He's the tank, basically. Level 2 fighter. I think his fighting style is +1 AC while wearing armor as well. And then +1 for Warforged, +1 for fighting style, +4 for the shield, and then the chainmail on top of that gives them an AC of 22, which kind of makes them insanely hard to hit. But when he does get hit, it's most likely a crit. That's
double damage.
True, but luckily he does have a lot of health. Gary, if you want to introduce Lazard, and I'll just bring up his character sheet so everyone can see.
Lazard's just your everyday human wizard. He has nothing to gain at all.
Of course not.
No. So he's just gone down the standard wizard path of he's not the strongest, but he's got quite high intelligence, and he's not afraid to let people know about it. He's a bit of a arrogant. Sorry?
Yeah, he can come across a little bit condescending at times.
Yeah, he's extremely polite, but it comes across as though he's looking down, as though he's speaking to a child.
He's a little bit pompous.
And
As though,
what?
Not a little bit about it.
True.
A little bit.
And what happened to his starting gold, Gary?
I don't know. He never found it. He assumes the goblins took it.
Yeah. So when Rek escaped from his cell, he had a rummage through the gear that was piled up in the corner, which was both his and Lazard's. And unbeknownst to Lazard, Rek pocketed the 10 gold pieces, which I believe I then used to recruit you to the cause.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I paid you like...
my starting gold back.
Yeah.
Which I haven't used any of that.
No,
So
it's not on your character sheet either. You had like 10 gold on you, didn't you?
Yeah,
There we go, it's on your character sheet now.
because I've got a few books, but they're all borrowed. Yeah, unlike the other two, I don't have very high AC. Of mine is 12.
Also the same as your hit points, so...
Yeah.
Your AC HP proportion is the same as Damascus, but not quite as big.
No, but I do have some things to bolster that because I'm a level 2 wizard. I've got my 3 cantrips: acid splash, firebolt, and light, and I've got 8 level 1 spells. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a good mixture of attacking and turf. So, but the 2 that are my defensive spells are shield and mage armor, and my primary attack spells are magic missile, chromatic orb, and ice knife. Which I almost hit. Was it yourself?
Yeah, we actually we didn't realize that it should have included me in the area of effect.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we worked it out and I did pass the dex save, so it was fine.
Yeah, because if not, it would have done. It may have knocked you out because you'd just been hit by the cube, hadn't you?
Yeah, I was on like 3 HP.
Yeah, and it does 2d6. Yeah. No.
It does D10 damage, apparently.
Yeah, it does. The initial hit does 2d10.
Oh yeah, and then it does an explosion as well, doesn't it?
The explosion does 2d6 cold damage.
I actually get an ability later on that lets me do cold damage. Am I the only one that map's gone completely black for?
Right. No,
It's being revealed again. That's fine.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, I
you,
was
Chuck, just hiding the... Yeah.
Hiding the thing that you've probably just watched me build, yeah.
I didn't actually, because I was doing the recording. I
Yeah.
kept it on AFAG Dungeon.
It was all on AFAG Dungeon anyway.
Yeah, I could see some of it.
Yeah, I meant I kept the screen on the AFAG Dungeon that was already there.
Fair enough.
So that's PCs.
I should say my art is technically is a key visual art from the Game Valkyrie profile.
True, which was probably also stolen from Google Images, but anyhow. So that's everyone sort of in AFAG Dungeon. That's sort of we shall call ourselves the Cult of Keith for now.
Call yourself what you want. Follow any religion. Or
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah,
I'm basically the resident librarian.
you are.
Fair
You're
enough.
like an accountant. And by accountant, I mean you do the
General
paperwork and I keep the money.
I'm the general smart person because what's your intelligence?
Bad.
And Damascus's?
I think me and him both have an 8.
Okay. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a general smart person.
Yeah. But Burnsville is the local town, which is where we were in the bar hatching our plan.
There you go.
Which Chuck beat me to the question. I was going to ask if she could flip me over onto it. As you can see from the fantastic artwork, Apparently I'm still in the town, which I'm not. I'll get rid of myself. We have sort of houses up in the northwest, some stables, a shop. We've got some farms, the Premier Inn, which is staffed by Keith, the bartender. We've got the smithy, which has Jiminy Black, the blacksmith. Town hall / library, where Jules, the town mayor, lives. We've got a farm with a giant apple tree.
Yep.
Yep.
Beautifully drawn, isn't it?
Sure. Ow, my ears.
Sorry, that was my juice.
Yeah. And that's where Hag Gina tends to hang out. And then in the shop is Farmer Alan and Outback Thomas Gregg III, the baker. So let's go in. I'll just open up. Again, Google Images. Farmer Alan is a human who founded Burnsville. He runs the local shop and owns the farmland. He runs the shop 9 till 5 and runs the farm part-time with Thomas Gregg III in the back of his inn. Shop. Not inn. Brings us on to Thomas Gregg III, the baker. The halfling who works in the back of the shop, because, you know, all halflings are cooks. And he breaks bread and makes other food from the local produce from the farms.
Including pies.
Including pies, despite them not having any... No, they do have livestock, I just don't think we've ever actually looked at it.
Nope.
Then next we'll go into the Premier Inn. A half Goliath but very human looking Keith, the bartender. He's approximately 8 foot tall. He runs the Premier Inn while his family is away, as he comes from a line of strong adventurers and artificers. He also has a much better beard than me. Jiminy Black, the blacksmith, Dragonborn, comes from a long line of family-taught blacksmiths, and during the last Great War, he was one of the best smiths, although over time they've moved away from sort of the kind of smithing style that he's done, and apparently he's also the last of his bloodline, which is sad. But he can also basically make us anything if we give him the right materials, almost like it's a hub village. But he's a good lad. I like him because he made me studded leather armor and upgraded my shield.
Mr. Trick, should have called him Andre.
I'll be seeing you.
In game. If you'd like, you can nickname him in game.
Cool, he's now called Andre.
Fuck.
We have Taylor the Tailor, who's an elf who, ironically, for someone who makes clothes, doesn't like wearing a lot of them, apparently. And she was invited by Jewel, the town mayor, to help boost the economy. So maybe she's saving money by not making herself the full amount of clothes. I don't know. And then we have Jules, the town mayor, the weirdest looking artwork of the game. She is
I thought it was brilliant.
It's brilliant in a way. They are, as if the stereotypical sexy librarian and angry Hulk had a child, this would be the outcast orc brought in by Alan to run the town he established. And they love books and run the town hall, and we managed to convince them that there was a nearby goblin threat and they should pay us 5 gold a week to keep them safe. When in fact the goblin threat is us. So we're basically running a protection racket on the town right now. Because, you know, we're the good guys. We swear. And then, last but not least, Hag Gina, who is a wandering gnomish druid who helps tend Alan's farms with magic. She's very crazy and she knows a lot. That's sort of going to be Lazard's domain, because magic. Despite eventually becoming a spellcaster, I don't know a lot about magic. So, but that's sort of everything I can think of as a recap. Anything else you guys want to add? Start with Chuck as GM.
Basically the world I've designed is very magic heavy. So I'm new to GMing and I haven't had a lot of play with magical characters. While I would really love to play a druid, I haven't actually played a druid. So I thought throwing that sort of stuff in there would get me more used to it because I am still learning all of the mechanics. So having a magic-centered world seemed to give me more to play with in terms of overarching story and stuff and mechanics. So that's kind of what I've learnt with. Also, the setting of the campaign is very much magical in the way that there used to be dragons, but they haven't been seen for a good few, about 100 years. I think we worked it out as based on everyone's ages.
Yeah, we said it was sort of the end of the last war, which both me and Damascus served in towards the end of, because we were both in the Battle of Baden Hill, and that's sort of where he cemented his relationship with Lafayette, which I manipulated to get him here.
Yeah, so the last Great War was basically an anti-magic rebellion, which ended up failing. And the dragons after that war just seemed to disappear, and no one's seen them since. So that's kind of the point in the story where I'm picking it up a good few years after that.
Anything you want to add, Gary?
No, nothing.
Cool.
Not done a huge amount. I've just taken out some books about it.
Then I think that's all the catch up done. Do you need a bit more prep time, Chuck?
I haven't drawn up Asheville yet.
Okay, do you want me to stop the recording? And I'll just stitch them together and edit.
Yeah, hit pause just now.
Cool. Cool, so that's us recording again. I'll just get my Windows set back up. Cool, I'm good to go.
Okay.
Coolio. Right, where are you all?
I'm in the throne room. Lazard is in his library.
Where did we end it off last time?
We just got back after getting you.
Yeah,
Oh.
after getting Cubit, we got back, we'd set him free. I'd set the guys in their rotations, and we were just about to do the rest and any admin.
Cool. So, I'll play with Bruce then because he's not here. As you come back and you've set Cubit on his own, he's kind of down at the bottom staircase, and you notice the first thing Cubit decided to do was chew up all of the rocks down there. There. No, not the whole thing. Down here. There are no rocks now.
Okay, so that stairway's clear, is it?
Yes.
Ooh. I think first order of business, once we're rested up, I want to pop into Burnsville so I can pick up the surcoats for my goblin army. And I don't know if there's anything else we really want to do in town. Anything you want to do, Gary?
I've not met with this Gina yet. Whilst you're doing that, I'll go visit her first.
Fair enough. We'll head out unless anything interesting happened during the night time, Chuck.
No. Do you want to send any of your gobbos out to do any hunting or anything?
Yeah, Mossack could do some hunting. Is it Mossack? Shadow. Yeah, Mossack, the Shadow. Because he's on rest. I'd have probably sent him out to get some hunting, just capture some like deer or whatever local wildlife there is. Because he's got a bunch of guys with bows.
He comes back with stuff. We know that anyway.
Oh yeah, that's quite good actually. I'll change it so I roll as Ragnak as well. So yeah, morning time. Does he come back with like quite a decent chunk of food? Does he?
Yeah, he comes back with an entire deer.
Nice.
And about 5 rabbits.
Keep Gorbos going for a day or two.
Cool.
I'll make sure to, when he sort of comes in with the stuff, because I'll have instructed him when he returns from his hunting trip to come see me just to let me know. I'll make sure to praise him for a good haul. Just because I want to try and keep their morale up and make sure they're. Go ahead.
In the dungeon rooms, do you want me to add fridge?
Yeah, I imagine the kitchen would probably be where we. It probably wouldn't be like refrigerated because we don't have any magical cooling. But they'd probably butcher the meat and sort of salt it, kind of thing. Or they probably have a way of smoking it more than salting. The salt will be quite rare. They'd essentially make jerky out of it.
You wanted it to be characters, didn't you?
Say again?
You wanted it to be characters for the rooms, didn't you?
Mainly for the vault and the armory, just because it makes it easier to admin. But if you wanted to do one for like food stocks, it makes sense.
To have a person, character.
Yeah. What I'll probably do with the deer, sort of as a celebration of my ascension to godhood and a sort of feast for the hunt, I'll get Rain Talker to sort of do a feast for them while we're out. Sort of a celebration of, the rejuvenation. And I'll set it for sort of early evening, so I'll get them to butcher the meat, get it prepped, and then they can do a giant like roast and stuff like that. And then that's when I'll present them with their surcoats during that ceremony.
Cool. Let me create a room.
I like the artwork.
With the shutterstock.com at the bottom.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh yeah, there we go. I was just seeing it now. Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. Okay, I've just added it into notes, what's in there, to be honest.
Okay. 1 day 5 rabbits, yeah. We'll make rabbit jerky and then we'll use the deer for a feast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just set off in the morning, head down to Burnsville.
Coolio. Just... I'm making it so the rooms can be controlled by all players and what's in them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so you can add stuff. Whitey then to Burnsville. Boop.
Because we've already collected all the gear from the smiths, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bruce has got his shield and absorbed it into his body. I've got my armor, and my shield's been reinforced. Bruce already had his surcoat. He was just picking up the rest of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll pop into the tailors then.
27 surcoats for you. Let me...
I'll have emptied my backpack before going down as well, just so I've got somewhere to put them.
Oh. Burnsville. You're in the seamstresses.
Exactly. I'll just... Yeah, that shows up fine on OBS. I was just double checking.
Did you remember how much you needed to pay
her? We'd already sorted out the gold. It'd already been taken off. I can't remember the amount.
Yeah, you did pay it in full, didn't you? Never mind.
Yeah. I did that so we didn't have to remember how much it was.
Fair enough.
I'd already set it for my bills.
The 27 remaining tabards there for you then.
It would have been 27 at the... No, it would have been 30. Because the only one I
Like,
got Damascus is. I didn't get the one for the captains, did I? Oh no, so I did. You're right.
they got their leather armor, and it was just tabards for the rest of them.
Well, now I need to. Well, okay. Home improvements, wasn't it? Yeah. No, that's fine. I was just making sure I had the colours written down. I need to edit that because characters' names have changed though.
Can you edit?
Yeah, I can edit that one. Yeah. It was just because I changed two of the captains' names. Because Grimjaw's red and brown, Raintalker's blue and yellow, and Mosek's grey and black. Keep it nice dark tones for stealth. Cool. That's me done with the seamstress. It'd just be like a quick. I'm not gonna have a big long chat with her. I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm here to pick up the stuff. Got quite a lot of stuff to do today. Dealing with the goblin infestation in the local area. At the behest of. When a name comes to me.
Jules.
Yeah, Jules. I was looking at the wrong NPC list there. As she's paying us to keep the village protected from the goblin menace, so these will come in handy as they are uniforms for my fighters. And then I'll bid her farewell.
If anyone asks, it's halflings.
Yeah, or gnomes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a noble from a gnome kingdom far to the east, I swear. But then I'll bid a good day and just sort of hang about on the exit of town, waiting for Lazard to catch up, and I'll pull out a pipe, have a bit of a smoke.
Fair enough. You're going to see Gina, aren't you?
Yep.
Gina is down by the apple tree. So. I don't have an accent written down, so I guess she's being Glaswegian again. Fair enough then. So you approach from the north side, from about here. Ping.
Yeah.
And then come through the field as she's tending to the farming, to the grass around the bottom of the apple tree. You can see that she's casting some sort of magic.
Do I know what kind of magic?
You can tell that it's druid nature magic, so you can tell that she's basically just making the crops grow.
Okay.
Even though it is just grass.
What's her name again?
Gina.
Gina. So I'll call out to her.
Hello.
Mistress Gina, I believe.
It's me, love.
I bow. My name is Lazard Fellis. I'm a traveller who's recently happened upon a nearby area, and I'm just investigating the area. Yeah, I was told to come see you with regards to magics.
Ah, yes, that would be my bit in this village, love. What can I do you for?
I would just like to know a bit more about the history and what kind of magics are primarily used in this kind of area, and whether I could maybe learn a spell or two.
Ah, see, when I came here a good few years ago, they were having troubles with their plants, see. So I, being a druid myself, came in and started tending to them, and lo and behold, we haven't had a bad year since.
So you've primarily used your magics to help with the growing of crops.
Oh yes, much too old to do it by hand these days.
And you say you've been successful.
Yes, every single year the harvest is bountiful.
And what do you harvest?
Oh, well, in this field here, it's just grass around this mysterious apple tree. This one doesn't seem to be, affecting my magic, which is a bit,
As in
weird.
the tree is unaffected by your druid magic.
Yeah, it just does its own thing, but it hasn't had any problems and we don't really eat the apples off it. It just seems to be one of those, just stands there and looks pretty.
Why do you not eat the apples?
Because Jim over there, being a bell end he is, decided he would grow a fucking fruit farm behind his shop.
And I presumably you do not help him with your magic.
Yes, I do. All of the farms around here I tend to. He lets me have all my food for free though, so.
Okay. What kind of magic? So you is it just like garden magic or specialist wood magic?
Yes, it's the forest path I'm down specifically. So what I like to do, what's best anyway, is I just cast little spells on them every now and then. Um, just to kind of get them to be a little bit more stable. It's just little keep me up kind of magic, and I like to also play some music for them. That seems to help them, but it is a specifically kind of druid songs where they, sounds of nature kind of propel them forward in their growth.
I see. And the tree is immune to these spells.
Yeah, if I tell it to grow a fruit, it doesn't grow a fruit. Whereas any other plant here, if I tell it to grow a fruit when I want it to, it grows a fruit.
Could I go over to the tree and maybe try and see if I can detect anything about it?
Yeah, detect magic.
Yeah, I can try and see if there's anything magical about the tree.
What?
See if it's repelling it or whether it's particularly.
From what you can tell, it doesn't seem to be anti-magic or magic repellent. It just seems to be that it has its own magic that's stronger
Okay.
that controls it.
Do I know what kind of magic that is?
I'm trying to bring up the list of houses again. Should probably actually put that in my fucking GM note, shouldn't I? GM note. Deep magic. Enchantment.
Enchanted.
Yes.
And the apples, what kind are they? Do they just look like normal apples, or?
Yeah, they're very, very juicy looking. They look very nice and tempting. Like you would assume that they wouldn't be naturally grown. They have definitely had some help because of
Okay.
just how absolutely nice they look.
Okay. I'll ask. Is it okay if I just take an apple?
Yes, by all means.
Very well. I'll try and invest it. I'll try and use it. Sorry. Bless
Sorry, I
you.
sneezed. Thank you.
And I'll take it back to my study and see if I can find out what's going on here.
Okay.
Do the apples they do grow regularly though?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll put it in my bag.
Cool.
So you tend all the farms and you primarily grow grass.
Just grass in this one, but it's mainly wheat and rice, and then they've got the little back orchard. We've got apples, we've got pears, we've got rhubarb, we've got potatoes, we've got strawberries, we've got raspberries, we've got Loads of stuff.
And these are all sold by the local. Presumably, they're used in the inn as well. They're also used by. Forgive me. Presumably, they're used by Keith and by Thomas.
Yeah. We like to use all of our homegrown stuff here. It's also just cheaper than buying in from other places.
Okay. And is that the only magics you perform for this village?
What level? She also controls the weather every now and then, just to make sure that they're getting enough sun and things like that.
Has she told me this?
Yes.
And that's fairly advanced magic to be able to control the weather.
Oh, aye. It's my favourite one.
And how do you do this? Do you what do you channel?
Well,
I think Chuck's Discord's died again.
Yeah, it has. You can tell if you go into Discord, it'll do the
Yeah, that's why I just checked.
Yeah.
Where she just has the green ring around, yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if Discord was dead or if she was just thinking.
Nobody expects the Magic Inquisition.
Nobody expected a Doom and Animal Crossing crossover.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ah, there she goes. She's disconnected. She'll be back in a second. Yeah. I think it's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
can you not hear me?
Oh, there we go.
We can now.
Oh, yay! There we go. I said that I'm gonna put the information for her druid skills in the Discord
Okay.
because you would know a little bit about it. Did you not pick up a transmutation book while you were in the library?
Double check. One about golem building, one about decks, and Gina's journal.
Gina's journal it'll be in.
Yeah. The only thing I know about it, 'cause it's not properly read it yet, it's her take on transmutation, nature, and life spells. Part of it's written in common and part of it in gnomish, which I can't speak.
This one is written in common. It's called
Okay.
Control Weather. It's an 8-level druid transmutation spell. I've copy and pasted it on 8th level transmutation spell. Yeah, she's old. She's powerful. You don't want to mess with this bitch.
How many goblins do you reckon it'd take to take her down?
92.
Never mind then.
Within 5 miles, you can train precipitation, temperature, and wind. Okay, so what I gathered from that is that it's a very high level druid spell then. So she must be. She's fairly powerful.
Yes.
No, that. So I'll explain to her that what I know about what I've got. I explain that I borrowed a journal from hers from the library, and it details it. And I'll explain that it's a very high level spell.
Well noticed, boy. Yes, I'm quite proud of this one.
And how often would you cast it?
Oh, only every now and then. If we have a period where it's just rain and I can feel the soil's nutrients just washing away in the back of my mind, I'll go out and I'll sit in the wet, burn some of the stuff I need to burn, and the rainwater is fresh water that I get to add to it, which is even better. And then for the rest of that day, it just brightens up and gives them the sun and the heat that they need to dry the soil out a little bit more, and then it can rain for the rest of the week if it wants to.
And where did you learn to cast such a spell?
Oh, see, I've been out in the woods a good long time. See, I've met a good few people.
So
And
somebody
the people
taught
that
it to
picked
you.
it. Yes.
Do you remember who this was?
Oh no, actually, I know that it was some lass in the woods, living in a cottage all by herself. Everyone was scared of her. They said she was a witch, so I went and knocked on her door.
And presumably asked her to teach you some spells.
Aye, she was actually quite lovely. I now get the reputation of being the local witch, so
Does she still live?
not last I checked anyway.
You've been to the house since then?
Only once or twice just to say thank you and give her some good stuff in return.
And have you? And when you last went to the house, it was empty, or?
Yeah, it seems to have get very run down, so I spruced the place up a bit for her, had the trees go around and kind of shroud and protect the place. If
Did
she's returned, hopefully, then it'll be good for her, but I haven't checked in since. That was a good few years ago.
If you could give me details of where to find this lady, I would much appreciate it.
Oh, aye. Do you want to pass her your notebook and then she'll add something
Yeah,
on and I'll put it in her hands?
I'll pass her one of my journals I carry for a note taker.
Okay.
Not my spell book.
Not your spellbook now. I'll add a handout to yours. And,
So she'll just detail where we're going, or
yeah.
how to get to this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm presuming that you're the only magic user around here, then. The
That I
only
know
one who
of.
interacts with the environment.
I'm the only druid I know about. There's a few other places that use aiding magic and stuff like this nearby. It's quite a common thing, but I'm the only druid in this area that I know of. It's the only farming village I can tell you about in a good few miles.
What about has there been a? You must be familiar with the land as such. Has there been a change in the magical energies or anything?
Mm, not recently per se. Not while I've been here anyway. It's just been a few odd weathers every now and then, but you know, global warming and all of that.
Were you around during the war?
Aye.
How has it changed since then?
Well, for a start, it's gotten a hell of a lot colder since the dragons are no longer blowing fire up our arses. Everything seems to have gotten a lot more calm since then. Everything's kind of returned to an odd balance, I'd say, with the weather anyway. But the soil and everything like that's been perfectly fine. No real change in that, just a bit more erratic weather in the extreme. So summer's very hot, so I sometimes make it rain every now and then. Winter's very cold, and sometimes I need to melt the ground.
Very well. That seems logical. If I think of anything else, would it be okay to come visit you then?
Yeah, no bothers. I'm up in the local housing. Let me see which house she is. She's the house furthest to the left, next to the tailors.
Okay.
Just come knock on my door. I'm free most days. If you can't find me there, you'll find me in one of the fields.
Very well. I appreciate it. Presumably I've taken my note back.
Yeah, I'm just typing it
Details.
up. Yeah.
Yes, we don't. To be fair, just put on my a note to So I thank her and then go back to join my ally.
No bother. She nods and then starts cutting grass with what looks like nail scissors.
Greetings, Regnark.
Good
I've done
day.
what I needed to do. Would you like a hand with any of that?
No, I'm perfectly fine, thank you. It was a very nice offer. My backpack's just like stuffed, and there's like a few circuits just like tied on the sides. It's kind of a mishmash, horrible looking thing, but they're not heavy. So,
Very well. As you wish.
did you find
As you...
anything interesting in your travels?
I found that the druid is clearly influential, and she's very, very old. With regards to the plan, she maybe want best to avoid, if you know what I mean. I learned of a spell that she can cast, and it's a very, very advanced spell. So there may be more to her than meets the eye. So have to be careful.
Yeah, that is good information to know. Does she perchance weigh the same as a duck?
She looks like she's slightly heavier.
Maybe she's not a witch then. But anyway,
Oh,
let us carry on back to the dungeons, because the goblins did inform me that one of the paths to the downstairs has been cleared by the... what's it called again? Gelatinous cube that we brought back.
Cuba.
Yes, Cubert. The goblins did seem to name him that. He seems to become kind of a pet. And during the night, one of them, I sent out some hunters, and we have a feast planned, as I plan to make a ceremony of giving the goblins their uniforms.
And do you have cooks for this feast?
I mean, goblins can set things on fire.
Very well.
I mean, they were making food before I got there, so I imagine they can make it edible. I mean, it might not be the nicest tasting thing, but food's food, innit?
Presumably.
It might not be up to your high standards, but
I
I'm
can
sure
assure
I've
you
eaten
my
worse.
standards are not that as high as you may perceive them to be.
Then we shall find out. Actually, before we go,
Yes.
perhaps we should pop into the inn, see if they have a keg of ale.
Very well.
Can we just
would
assume?
you like me to do that whilst you're because you're carrying all that stuff? Or...
Well, I'll use group funds for it, but we can both go.
Very well.
One question, Chuck. Can we just assume that Damascus is with us?
Yeah.
Just because I'll get him to carry it.
That makes sense.
If I'm honest, because he's fucking huge. I'm a tiny little bird man, and Lazard's a skinny motherfucker of a human. It would just make sense if we were going to pick up stuff that we'd bring the big dude.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to get a cask of ale, it might be best for him to carry it.
Yeah, definitely. Though I do have a reasonable strength now, that we respect the character.
I don't.
Gary,
Yeah.
Gary, are you sharing with Ben the whereabouts of the witch, or do you not want to?
No, I will. I was
Okay.
more going to use that as a conversation on our way back.
Okay.
Oh, we'll pop in and see Keith then.
Yeah.
Well, whereabouts of the witch is a handout I've put in your folder for your notes.
In the carry. Whereabouts? Yeah, I've got it. Ooh.
What folder's it in?
It's in my one.
It's not. Do you want me to make it visible to you, Ben?
Nah, it's cool.
I'll show it to you when you're on the walk back.
Yeah, it just shows it when it becomes relevant. Just so it shows up on screen more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll pop into the Premier Inn and have a word with Keith.
Cool. The premiere.
Still don't know why they've got an eye on the wall, but
It
security.
adds to the village aesthetic.
Well, it's hardly in keeping with the village's rustic aesthetic, is it?
Oh, maybe it is. It is run by a druid.
Yeah, I heard they can break a man's arm.
It's a glass eye that was molded off a dragon's eye, so it's just art.
Not sure if that's weirder or better.
Well, the entire county is just named after dragon stuff, so it makes sense they'd have dragon art.
Sure.
The fountain in Asheville is actually a dragon's head, and that's where the water comes out.
Makes sense. So yeah, we'll pop in. I assume Keith's behind the bar cleaning a glass. Same glass he cleans every night, yeah? Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, good morrow, Keith.
Alright, mate, how are you?
Aye, not bad, my friend. I'm planning a celebration for a few of our fellow goblin hunters up in our lair, and I was wondering if perhaps I could purchase a keg of ale or some form of spirit or alcoholic beverage that we could bring with us.
Aye. What, you looking for the cheapest one?
Mid-range. You know, not grog, but not a fine refreshment.
Ah. Right, let me see if I've got one in the back. A medium quality ale, aye.
Aye.
He pops out behind the bar. You can see just how tall he is. He's actually been sitting this entire time. He goes round the rack of shelves and he pulls out a keg that's probably up to his knee, but probably about 3.5 foot tall for you all.
At this point, I just look right over at Damascus and I'm like, I think that's yours, mate.
Aye. He goes, we've got some of this. It's all right, I guess. I'd do you this for 5 gold.
Well, as it is for the troops currently protecting your village, perhaps we could skip the haggling and settle at 3?
Should have started at 6, shouldn't I? I'll do you 4.
Go on then, 4 it is.
Aye, cheers, mate. He lifts the entire keg up like it's no fucking bother and puts it on top of the bar.
And then I'll indicate for Bruce. Oh, Damascus, sorry.
Damascus goes, and then picks it up. He looks even to struggle with it, just giving you perspective on how absolutely tankish little Keith is.
Yeah, because Damascus has got like 16 strength.
In the character I've drawn up for Keith, he has 20 plus 2.
Fucking hell.
Yep.
Oh, and being Goliath, he counts his carrying capacity if he's one size larger as well.
That's why he's having no absolute bother. And
He's
the
like...
plus 2 is his race bonus as well, but also another bonus, which I don't remember.
So he's a hench motherfucker.
Yeah. What
Nice.
class is it that gives you +1 to strength?
Mine does.
Classes don't give you pluses.
Classes. Yeah, classes don't give you pluses. Sorry, to your...
Goliath
No,
is... Don't have another... Do I have another... Wait a second, let me open another window and pull it off screen, so... Goliath gives you +2 strength.
Yeah, that'll be what it is then.
And +1 con. They're between 7 and 8 feet tall. As a reaction, they can roll a d12, add their con modifier, and reduce an attack by that amount of damage. One size larger with carrying capacity and weight you can push, drag, or lift. They also don't care about cold or being high climate.
Yeah, so he's high enough level to have put at least each level up points into strength to make that 20 with his +2 from his racial bonus.
You think with all the high-level NPCs around here, they wouldn't need to pay us 5 gold a week to keep the goblins away, but I'll take the
Thing
money.
is, there's not many.
Yeah, true. And I did do a good job of selling how dangerous the goblins were.
Like
Somehow.
the only high-level NPCs that are actually around are people who I have full stories for. So there's Gina, there's Keith, and there's the blacksmith. That's it. And then the mercenaries in the other village. I'll give them something, but I haven't planned what they are yet.
Okay. Just always strikes me as weird when you've got like level 20 NPCs. This is just like a D&D thing in general, where you've got, like the stereotypical wizard in the tower, and he's like level 20, so he can call down literal fucking meteors, and he's asking a group of level 1s to go get him a relic from a dungeon. And it's like, mate, go get it yourself. You can end worlds. It's just a weird trope. But yeah, once we've got the keg, I'll behave this time while I'm in the bar, and we'll just head back.
Yep.
Cool.
Because it'll be coming on afternoon by the time we get back, won't it?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I'm not getting up at the crack of dawn, and then hour there, probably about an hour in the village, hour back, kind of thing. Cool.
Let's go back.
Yeah, and on the way I would have told you about this place where a witch was last seen.
It sounds like something that would certainly be useful for your research.
It may also be pertinent for yourself as well, with regards to this. So if she was the one that taught the druid to control the weather, then she may be a hindrance to your plans in the long term.
Yes, and I do have some questions of a magical nature myself, because recently, since we've encountered the goblins and took command, I've noticed sort of almost like a tingling in the back of my mind, like almost like a, when you can swear you hear sounds coming from another room, almost that in sort of like a magical sense.
As if someone is speaking to you?
No, more as if I can suddenly feel the magical energy of the world, but I can't quite grasp it or understand the words, if that makes sense.
I see.
Like when you're upstairs in a tavern and there's a song playing, and it's a familiar song in the tavern, but you're too far away and too disconnected to make out the lyrics of the song or what tune it is, but you can tell that there's music there. That's sort of how it feels right now. And it's almost like sometimes when I look at something, I can tell whether it's good or evil.
Good and evil is in the eye of the beholder, surely. Are you talking about what the gods perceived good and evil?
As in, yes, there is obviously good and evil being subjective, but there are absolutes in the world. And it's more I can sense,
you can sense
the absolutes.
The law, effectively.
Yeah.
Nature's law, as one could put it, or the god's law.
So it's almost like evil smells like noxious, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in my ears. And I don't particularly appreciate heavenly music, if I'm honest. So it's quite annoying. But it seems I do have to concentrate to open up this almost vision or awareness.
If pray tell, you ever hear the words and they're in a different language or so, if you could just write them down for me at some point. I know you may not be able to.
No, certainly.
Recognize what the words, but if you could write down what you could perceive them to be, and I'll see if I can investigate that for you.
Yeah, most certainly, that'd be most helpful.
Out of character, Chuck. By the way, I don't know how relevant it is at the moment. But my character does speak Celestial
Yes.
That is,
and Abyssal.
That's literally the language of the gods, isn't it?
yeah.
Celestial is the language of the gods. Yeah, if I remember, I speak that and Elvish and Common.
Yeah.
Just an out of character thing as well. I've put the sort of sense I'm on about, the actual wording of how it works in mechanics.
I was
Yeah.
looking at your character sheet going, he's referring to the paladin shit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. No, I knew that, but it's just obviously
Oh yeah, I was just trying to do it in a roleplay sense, and in case I didn't get it across,
Yeah.
I was throwing it in there just so you could see sort of what I can do. So
Yeah, I got it, don't worry.
it's just because
yeah.
magic's a very new thing to my character, and the next level up in Paladin, he's actually going to be able to start spell casting,
Yeah.
which is going to be very weird for someone who started out as a criminal rogue trying to avoid a giant war.
Yeah, and basically, if you can tell me what you hear, I might be able to try and deduce how you've suddenly got them.
Mm.
If you know what I mean. Yeah, Elven, Common, Abyssal, and Celestial.
Actually, I think my gobos can speak Abyssal, so you'll be able to hear their religious rites because they do it in Abyssal.
Do they?
Yeah, let me have a look at Rain Talker a second. Because they have, he has Common, Druidic, Goblin, Infernal.
Yeah, probably Infernal.
He should have more than that.
I'm sure he had 5.
5?
Yeah, because
I'll have no Goblin out speaking more languages than I.
have a look at Mosik, because he has the full list on him. Abyssal Common. Oh fuck, he has quite a few as well, actually. Abyssal Common, Dwarvish, Goblin, and Infernal. Yeah, because they got Goblin and Common from being Gobos. He gets Dwarvish from being Common Enemy Dwarves. And Abyssal and Infernal are the 2 languages they got for their acolyte background. That's like the religious ceremonies.
Okay, so I could understand the ceremonies in Abyssal, but not.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it's added Abyssal to Brain Talker. Just double checking out a spell, it's 2 S's.
Yeah, Abyssal.
And I'll just move it up so it's with the other languages, because otherwise I won't see it and I'll end up adding it again. There we go. It was just because I was rattling through because I had to make them twice. So I probably just forgot to click it.
Okay.
There we go.
If you like, I can maybe try and detect what kind of magic is approaching you.
Tell you what, we'll have the ceremony with the goblins, because I did sort of promise them a bit of a party.
Yeah.
Celebrate my ascension to godhood. No idea how they bought that, but okay. And afterwards, I was thinking we could either explore the new level of the dungeon that's been revealed. Well, I suppose we should stop calling it a dungeon because it's kind of our home now. Or there is the nearby village of Ashton, which we could scope out.
I think it would make sense to scope out the rest of our abode for
Mm.
now.
Yeah.
Because by the time we get to another village after your party, heaven knows how late it may be.
True. But anyway, let us head back to the hold, I guess, and we'll have some food. We'll get some goblins drunk because I'm sure that'll be entertaining. We can have a look at this magic stuff, and then we can go down into the dungeons.
Who would you say is the most intelligent, or maybe the leader of the goblins?
Well, Rain Talker is the spiritual leader of the goblins.
That may be the best. If I may use this opportunity to speak to him.
Let's have a look. The Mosik, the Shadow, he's very sharp-witted.
It's more on the spiritual side.
Oh, if it's spiritual, magical side, yeah, Rain Talker's your man. Oh, Rain Talker's your goblin, I guess.
If you could point him out to me when we get back, I'd like to have a discussion with him, if I may.
Yeah, sure. We'll get back. I'll I'll leave Grimjaw. I'll leave sort of. I'll find out which of his goblins have been slacking the most when we get into sort of the entrance, and 4 of them will stay behind on guard duty, like 4 of the most misbehaved ones as punishment, and then the rest and Grimjaw himself and all the other goblins, they'll all be taken into the living quarters, where we just build a big fire pit in the middle, and get this.
If you wish, I could. They could, just so that some goblins aren't out of the frivolities. I could set up a spell and just for a few hours, just to detect anyone who comes in.
Could do that anyway, but I think we should be instilling discipline in the goblins.
I know, but with so early on, they may just run away. I suppose. It's up to you. I'll set up the spell anyway.
Set up the spell anyway because they're the worst behaved ones.
Yeah.
But I want them to know that I expect better of them.
Very well. So I set up the alarm spell.
Yeah. And then we'll sort of pull everyone in. See if I can do that easily.
If I go on to the whereabouts of the witch thing, which should only be visible to Gary, and click show to players, does it come up for you, Ben?
Try it.
No, she has. It's popped up for me.
Then no.
Cool. Do you want me to read it to you? Because it's literally just where she is.
No, you can just tell me.
Fair enough. Oh, it's south by a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like 2 weeks. 2 weeks travel, a lot.
As long as you know where we're going when we go there, it's cool.
Yeah. I will.
Cool.
Very
I'm actually just going to pop into the vault quickly as well. I'm just going to sort my funds out, so I've got 10 gold on me again. I just like keeping 10 gold on me as travelling cash.
Cool.
So that'll be putting 9 copper, 9 silver in there, and taking 5 gold out. There we go. I'm actually just going to leave the tokens for the gobos in their areas, just because that lets me know who's in what squad.
And also moving all of them.
Yeah, can't be asked. Sort of here. Actually, I'll draw it.
Yeah.
Free hand, red. And we'll do a bit of yellow as well.
I can set it on fire.
Go on then.
Yeah, I think it'll also instill a bit of
Wowness.
Yeah, into the goblins. So
Yeah.
I'll set it aflame.
Now we'll bring the captains in though. It's very important that they're seen to be part of the inner circle with like me, you, Damascus, and
even the cube is above the rest of them.
yeah, sure. There we go, and I'll sort of seat Rain Talker next to you because he's my goblin mage. And I'll introduce you. You know, this is Rain Talker. He's our spiritual leader. He's just about to kick off the ceremony.
I greet him in Abyssal.
In which case he will respond in Abyssal, very formally, because I've introduced you as the court magician.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like showing deference to you, because he's very. It's been made very clear that whilst he is the spiritual leader of the goblins and their religion and their faith, you are the sorcerer of the gods, basically. Because they still think I'm their god.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdos.
Yeah. Yeah, they are weird.
But for the ceremony, I'll pull out the surcoats. I've got sort of 10 of each colour. The captains already had theirs on. And then I'll sort of pull them together in their groups. So like the captain, I'll give him his 9 men. Or 9 goblins, sorry. Just stop saying men, they're not human. And then I'll present them with their surcoats and like make each one kneel to me.
Remember, you can have 4 coats left over.
Why?
Because there's you've posted 4 guys out in the sentry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'll give them to Grimjaw to present to his men on his return. on their word that they won't fuck up again, basically. So like you can be part of the team if you do better, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll get Damascus to crack open the keg of ale, and then just share it amongst the gobos. We'll have a drink each, and then we'll toast to victory. And at which point everyone just sort of goes into their little social groups, and like we'll be getting the teams to bond. And now you have your chance to speak to Rain Talker after he's done sort of like a big prayer and little magic dance kind of thing.
Was that in Abyssal?
Yeah, all the prayers done
All
in
the prayers
Abyssal,
and things are in Abyssal.
which ironically I don't understand.
Yeah.
Despite proclaiming to be their god, but I'll just be like nodding along at appropriate times, just flagging it.
I can kind of tell you what they mean.
Yeah, I only know Common and Goblin, and Thieves
Yeah.
can't.
Okay, so if I may speak to him then.
Yeah. Chuck, do you want me to do Rain Talker, or are you gonna RP Rain Talker?
You can do Rain Talker if you want to give him a certain character.
Okay.
Technically, he is yours.
Yeah, I just don't want to take up all the roleplay by having, a million goblins. But if you're cool with it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'll speak to him in I'll in common for this bit so that you can hear it.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll ask him about how. Sorry, Rain Talker.
Yeah, Rain Talker, because it can predict the weather.
Yeah. So Rain Talker, you can predict the weather.
Yes. The gods they show me the form of the cloud. Shall I perform for you?
Yes, if you please.
Let me bring up his spells. I'm pretty sure it's... Oh no, it's a cantrip. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
So he starts like chanting in Abyssal, which you'd recognize as almost like a prayer for guidance.
Yeah.
And basically in between his hands, a small like ball of light starts glowing.
Yeah.
And basically, Chuck, what's the weather going to be like over AFAG for the next 24 hours?
Vaguely cloudy. No precipitation. Just heavy clouds that look like they might burst in the next day or so.
Okay. Yeah, Scottish summer.
Yes.
With less rain. You see sort of it sort of grows to sort of like fill his palms. As if he's holding like not quite a football, but like a ball just slightly smaller than a football.
Okay.
Like, like the kiddies' footballs, like the small shitty inflatable ones.
Yeah.
And you see sort of the surface of it is made of a cloudy sky. And sort of after 6 seconds or so, the image just sort of fades and it shrinks back into nothing.
The gods they say, cloud, no rain. Good hunting weather.
Okay. Chuck, do I recognize that as similar to the spell that the druid woman was casting on her plants thing?
Yes.
Do I recognize from the same school, as it were?
Yes.
If you know what I mean. Maybe not. That's when I say school of magic, I don't mean it literally. I mean it's the same kind of. They draw upon that magic from the same source.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a different school of
True.
magic, but nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nature magic, yeah.
If I may, which god did grant you this power?
What gods to bloody goblins worship?
Just gonna have to come up with a name for the god.
Do you want to make one up, or do you want me to pull one from the book?
I pray to the god Maglubiet.
Maglubi.
According to Google, he is the god of goblins and hobgoblins.
Spell that for me.
Michael for golf.
Mhm.
Lima uniform Bravo.
India Uniform Echo Tango.
India Yankee Echo Tango.
That's what I meant.
Ah, I almost got it right.
I'm just going to put that in my notes, seeing as all my guys pray to them. God of the
Is-
Gobos.
And he's your only god, is he? He's
Yes, he is the
god of your people.
guiding source and the fountain from which we sprung.
And so how long have you been practicing these arts?
Oh, my birth was granted deep in the mud pits when I was not even a summer old.
And how long was that? How long ago was that?
20, 25 summers.
I see.
Long enough for my accent to begin to change.
And you've been casting spells like this since you were young, since, as you say, since one summer.
Yes, when I was but a mud pup. The power grows as the summers go by and the seasons change, and our devotion is rewarded.
And how is your devotion rewarded? What does your god grant you except for these gifts?
I may offer my fellows guidance so that they may find their way, or a very limited effect I have is I am able to heal wounds with touch.
I see.
I think it's touch.
He's got healing touch.
Yeah, he's got cure wounds with touch.
And
I
if I may, are you familiar with this? I show him the control weather that was in the book. Is that a common or a known spell among your people?
Amongst the ancients, there are some among our people who may perform this task, but I have yet to meet one in the flesh.
So it is a practice, just not a common.
It is common knowledge, but the act of the performance is beyond many.
I see.
It is not something within my powers.
I'll just generally talk to him about the history. So, how long have you been in this particular place?
Or perhaps 10 summers? We were further in the mountains, but as the winters drew colder, we came lower down, as we were unable to find food to survive. It was at the behest of our master. Back when he had his previous body, he thought moving closer to the villages of the plain dwellers would give us more chance for survival, more game, more loot, more glory. Perhaps he was correct, perhaps he is wrong, only time and the gods know.
I see. And his spirit or his essence has transferred into our friend over there.
Yes, it appears the gods transfer the power. If one can be bested in combat and the gods see fit to grant you this vessel, they can transfer your consciousness to a new host. So whilst your friend may not have always been our leader, he is now.
I see. That makes sense. And as you say, you've been here for quite a long time. Has there been any changes in the essence around here in that time?
No, the magic still flows as it did. There have been stronger fluctuations in the seasons, but nothing out of proportion to the changes in the extremity of the weather.
Nice.
As far as I know, unless I'm wrong on that one, Chuck.
No, yeah, it just got a bit more extreme during summer and winter, but
Yeah, cool.
it's good.
Just making sure I'm not shitting on your lore because I'm blagging this.
And if, just one more thing. Just one.
Yes, Columbo.
It was you killed and did those goblins.
It's not about what you know, it's about what you can prove in court.
No. This soul transference, as I'll term it. Have you ever seen it before this occurred?
Never with my own eyes, but in the olden days, it is a legend from before the Great War of the Plain Dwellers that a champion may be chosen by the gods and become a great hero of our people.
And this legend, is it passed down verbally or through written word?
All legends of our people are verbal. As the Rain Talker, I am guardian of those legends. It is my duty to pass them on to the people. And when I notice one of our fellows attuning to the land, so to speak, it is my opportunity to raise and train them to carry on this tradition.
And somebody presumably told you this.
Yes, I was taught by the previous Rain Talker. It is not a name but a title. Once you become the Rain Talker, your previous identity is gone.
And what happened to the previous Rain Talker?
He
Your
died.
master? Oh.
Old age, not violence. Bless you.
Me again.
Maglubiet, bless you.
I see. Yeah, after that I'll just make general chip.
He does show you one thing.
Go on.
That he actually expends a spell slot to do. He casts Fairy Fire. The gods also granted me this gift, which can sometimes be quite amusing. And it basically, within a 20-foot cube, because they're all kind of drunk and not noticing, they fail their dex throw, just because they don't want to roll like fucking 30. All the gobos start like glowing with funny lights, and they all think it's fucking cool as shit. And because they're pissed as well, because they don't really drink and they're like half an ale in. Kind of like Chuck when she has a shandy.
Hey!
I wasn't, but then I did, yes.
That's a very odd spell for a level 1 slot.
It basically gets you advantage against attacking them. So it's quite a powerful buff.
Okay.
It's also good for in the darkness because then they actually light up.
And you attuned in and received this spell from Maglubia too.
Yes, all my power is channeled from the land through Maglubiet. All living beings with them carry this light. Maglubiet and the land teach me to draw it out. I have no idea if that's how Fairy Fire really works, but
it does now.
Sounds alright, doesn't it?
Very good. Just for the future, if you ever hear any more about how this soul transference works, or you hear anything about it, if you could just come to me with that information.
Of course, of course.
Thank you for your time, Rain Talker.
Thank you for your time, Court Wizard.
Would you like me to give you some background on Maglubiet?
If it's relevant, please. Would my character know?
It's just because, Ben, you're probably just, winging this as much as you can. So I can give you the information the way that the shaman would have told you. Because he said it's his job to kind of pass the message along to the next Rain Talker.
Yeah.
He's described as a giant 11-foot tall black-skinned goblin with flaming eyes, powerfully muscled arms and sharp talons. He's said to wield a mighty coal black battle axe that constantly drips blood. This guy sounds fucking metal as hell.
He is. He's the High Chieftain of goblins. From his throne of flaming iron, he commands the souls of goblins, hobgoblins, and wargs to wage eternal war against the orcish petitioners of Groomish. He has employed other gods, like minor gods, because he is in fact a major god himself, to fight the war for him. The gods are Batezu, Hugo Bayetayag, I'm butchering this, and Nomo Gaea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this from, by the way?
Forgotten Realms fandom.
Oh, okay, I'm on the Dungeons and Dragons fandom, which has a different thing. From the late 80s.
He's a war god.
The priests and shamans were his mouthpieces on the material plane. They fulfilled his demands for blood sacrifices by dispatching victims with an axe. They believed these sacrifices strengthened him. His clergy was almost always drawn from the goblin and hobgoblin races, and the Tasloi also worship an aspect of him. These shamans also are communicating with him through omens, blood flowing from the edge of an axe, abnormal behavior in wargs and wolves, and speaking directly through the shamans in a trance. So, get some wolves, basically. His holy day is the new moon. His holy weapon is a battle axe. His worshippers are referred to as the sons of Malguiet. There's another bit as well where it says that his sacred site and his fortified area was behind a waterfall in a cavern behind a river of magically carved steel dripping with moisture. He also kept there in retreat from Grashmog, sacred site of Grashmog, which translated in the goblin language to Heart of Battle. So I've put in the shaman's character basically just in the notes. Shaman for goblin deity Maglubiet, god of war and leadership, religious significance, full moon, axes, and waterfalls.
Cool.
So that I can remind myself to kind of bring that sort of stuff in. But
could you put the link?
The deer may have been sacrificed in the traditional way to be eaten.
Yeah. Could you ping us that link in Discord? Because I'll just put it in my notes.
Aye. Oh. Thought that was quite interesting.
Okay, he does look quite metal.
Yes, his arms are backwards.
Very 80s, that artwork.
I think it's great.
You know what that artwork reminds me of? Heavy Metal. The actual, like, little animated thing.
It does look like his arms are completely distant.
Yeah, he's a garbo. They probably are.
Mm.
He sneezed, dislocated his arms.
Ben, you'll be happy to know, you know that helmet that you wanted from that book? One of the titles for Maglubiet is Fiery Eyes.
I noticed
so
that one.
Goblins will be your connection to finding the helmet of Fiery Eyes.
Awesome. And that would make me look even more like a mouthpiece of Maglubiet as well.
They will believe you are him if you tell them and pass a
Deception.
Persuasion check.
Nice. I'm going to become a god and Gary's gonna murder me.
And then the bard will sing about it.
Then we both get what we want.
Just be there.
Damascus will just be like, oh, violence. I like violence, I do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Damascus likes it, but...
I'll just also ask if has there been any other magics in this vicinity that you're unfamiliar with or that you don't recognize as coming from your own soul?
I've forgotten his accent already. Not that I'm aware of, no.
It wasn't that accent.
No, that was a bit more Cockney, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was more of a refined refined and posh kind of thing, but
Fuck knows.
refined. It was that nasally posh accent.
Rain talker.
Yeah, that.
That'll do. None that I've discovered or seen.
And not in this not in this abode.
Not in this area, no. Though we have not explored the lower levels, so there may yet be mysteries to uncover.
Yes, I shall be looking into that myself. Thank you for your time, Rain Talker.
Any time, Court Wizard.
Did your character overhear most of that?
Yeah, I was listening to the whole thing.
Yeah. So your eyes were, when you would know about this red-eyed helmet thing.
Yeah, I'll probably have a good chat with him.
Yeah.
Because part of my blag of becoming the guy is that I've lost all my memories.
Yeah.
So I'll speak to him to regain, in quotation marks, my memories.
Okay.
But that'll be at some point. I'm not going to roleplay with myself. That's weird.
No, that's fine. So I'll go to you and I'll just say, I presume you caught all that then?
Yes, I did.
Was any of that any use to you?
Well, since I am supposed to be the mouthpiece of their god, it's always beneficial to know who that god is. If they'd have asked me, I'd have had no clue. So, very useful. Thank you.
He brought up that even themselves have not explored the lower depths of this place.
Yeah, it does seem to point towards that would be our next objective.
Yeah. So I plan on going soon. I'll go prepare and just in case, and yeah, I'll meet you back here then.
Or perhaps, if you wanted to, we could have a look at this new magical feeling of mine.
Yes, of course.
I would be uncomfortable treading into potential danger without at least trying to understand it better.
Very, very well. If you'll come to my study, then.
Of course, lead the way. And I'll sort of bid my farewells to the goblins, let them know that the rest of the beer's theirs. If any of them can outdrink Damascus, they get a gold piece. And, because they can't, because they're fucking tiny and he's huge. But it's just to encourage a bit of morale and heavy drinking. Well, heavy drinking for a goblin's probably a pint. It's like, like the bit from Lord of the Rings where he's like, this, my friends, is a pint. Yeah. That's what the goblins are like right now, except actually get pissed off it. Yeah, I'll pop along to you. Well, pop with you.
I'm in study.
So, if you could explain, have you heard any words spoken at all?
Not words per se. It's more of a feeling, a smell, or a.
So you can. What do you smell right now?
Let me get my character sheet up and use my ability. Wop. Chuck, reading the description of my divine sense, if you could tell me what I smell in Gary's lair.
Lazard's.
Yeah, sorry, Lazard's lair. You don't have a lair as a person. I'm not suggesting that you have like a secret science-based dungeon or whatever, but in Lazard's library of dark secrets and manga, like probably some soy sauce, sake.
The overwhelming smell of spicy wasabi.
There wouldn't be any of that in there.
Just for your information, does this spell, is it a person or does it also do object?
It does object as well, so anything that has been touched or desecrated by someone or something of either very much end of the spectrum, so either very, very good or very, very evil.
Okay.
Anything they touch will be either lightened or desecrated, but if it's just a minor alignment change, so if you're not the most evil motherfucker,
I can
then you're
smell the
not
necromancy.
necessarily going to have tainted everything.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to present him with a couple of objects. Okay.
Okay.
I'll have.
Have you chosen an alignment, or do you want to still wait for that?
Oh,
Because
I know what my alignment is.
Okay, because
It's just I'll, as I said, I'll do it in the bio when I'll send it to you this week. I've got a full character bio. It's just, it's supposed to be revealed in portions, if you know what I mean. So yeah, well, I'll talk through this one bit, but as I said, I'll send you it properly. So
Cool.
I'll take out one like this thing is just like a sphere. It's an orb where it gives off quite a bright light, but it's actually it's a heavenly object. So this one would give the alignment good, if you know what I mean. And I'll bring out another one, which is a alchemic flask, which would be the evil. So I'll
Okay.
present your character with the orb first.
Okay, look, so as you sort of present the orb, I'll explain to you that I can hear sort of orchestral, like almost harp music with like lots of harmonic chords being played, sort of emanating from the object as if that's making the noise.
Okay.
The closer you are to the object, you can feel that the air around you is kind of more crisp and clean and has that kind of pure smell to it. So it just feels a lot more calm in that little air bubble that surrounds this orb.
Okay. And if I may take it back.
Yeah, I pass it back to you.
And I'll give you the flask. So
I'm down to one use of divine sense left.
It doesn't matter.
And this was the evil thing, wasn't it?
Yes, this is evil.
Yeah, so I can.
This is the just for your information. This was owned by Necromancer.
Oh, in which case I'd know that it's about undead as well.
Yes.
So I can literally smell the stench of death on it. But in like, not like I've been on battlefields. The character has, right, and he knows what the stench of recent death smells like, and he knows what the smell of non-magical artificial undeath smells like, and it is most definitely the latter.
Yeah.
So it smells like a week-old corpse that's still groaning. And it is emanating very strongly from that as well. So I know that that's a very evil, unnatural, wrong thing, and it's kind of got my attention right now as well.
Yeah.
And the sounds you kind of hear along with it, instead of that beautiful harp music and the orchestral sounds and the beautiful wind of the clouds that you were hearing before, you can kind of hear what sounds like distraught, faint crying. It feels like there's the feeling of bass within you, but you can't quite feel it. It feels like the sound is so low in the octaves that it's not registering yet with your ears. It's only registering with the feelings inside you and how you're experiencing almost secondhand the torment of a soul.
Oh, like the fear frequency.
Yeah.
That you can't hear, but it fucks you up mentally.
Yes, that's what you're hearing.
In which case, I'll just explain that all as well.
Okay.
Just because I'm not going to say the same thing twice.
No. Okay. Okay, so that's.
But I will add on to the back of it. Sorry. That it feels like I can only use it so many times, and that I've not got much left in me to open up that portal. It's just the background stuff. To actually focus on it seems to be quite draining.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what I'll explain to you is this was owned by a necromancer, and this was when the orb was I found it in an old abandoned church. So it seems very clear that you have received a gift through. I unfortunately don't know how you've received this, but you can now distinguish between heavenly objects and traditionally evil, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So this has clearly been blessed by the gods, a god or whatever, and you can distinguish it.
Oh, the
It's
irony if the god's actually chosen me as a bloody vessel.
so it's clear you have been, whether this is most interesting because I've never actually I've seen people get magic through either learning it themselves, it being imparted on them is very, very rare, and it's normally not this kind of. This kind of magic is normally associated with people of the cloth, as it were. People who fight or are knowledgeable in a particular god. May I ask if you hold any gods close to your own heart?
I've always been somewhat of a skeptic. I don't come from the greatest background. I was involved in the war as little as possible, and what I saw of the war made me pretty sure there's no one up there looking after us.
I can certainly vouch that they're not looking after you, but I can also vouch that there are certainly gods.
Yeah, and the gods that are there are sick, twisted children with a magnifying glass melting ants.
Now that I can agree with. The gods are not. They are in every essence a higher being, and by that I mean not immortal or not everlasting. They are just higher beings.
It would be glorious to prove it.
I've seen enough in my time, and that you can distinguish between it. Every object that has been interacted with by a god will leave it behind some kind of essence. And that's what you detected on the stone.
Hmm. Well, I'll keep my eyes and my mind open. If there is any changes or developments, I will let you know. As magic is much more your domain than mine. But
Yes, and as I said, so it seems quite clear that you will become an expert in a certain field soon enough.
can you tell? I don't know much about magic, but I know
Right.
there are. As far as I understand it, magic is like a tree, and there are many branches.
We different schools of magic.
Okay, schools.
Every kind of magic, it comes from a different source, or is classified in a different way. I can tell you what your source is if you wish.
Yeah, that would be much appreciated.
Okay. So I'll use the detect magic.
Detect magic again. Okay, let me.
Remember, I'm wearing a magical glove about illusion on my hand as well.
Oh, very well. I'll ask then. If you have any magical items, if you could take them off, please.
Yeah, of course. I remove the glove and
Yeah.
put it on the side. Because otherwise, I'd look like I'm from the School of Illusion.
School of illusion, yeah, which would make no sense.
Chuck, have you come up with a reason, like world-wise, why I'm gaining magic power?
Kind of. It's like I'm building on it.
Because I had quite a decent idea, and I was going to see if you want to take a quick 5-minute break after this. Before we go dungeon diving, just take a little 5-minute break outside, and we can sort of chinwag an idea. Because I've just realised that it kind of is a weird one, roleplay wise.
Okay. Should I?
It's divine magic,
It's divine.
Yeah.
so it wouldn't change no matter what you come up with, because it is clearly from a god, because it's paladin stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Divination. You can kind of see the remnants of a glow from the hands that the glove was on, that the illusion magic was there, but you can tell that there's the divination coming from all over the body, whereas the illusion left
It's
over
just from the.
just on the hand, yeah.
Yes, your power is clearly divine. It's from that school. Your glove, by the way, is from the School of Illusion. But no, there's certainly a divine presence in this magic, which unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your view, it can only be gifted to those chosen by the gods.
Oh, the irony. Someone being gifted magic by something he hates.
Cliffhanger. By the gods. Ad break.
Have you played Raid Shadow Legends? Get fucked.
But with that, we will take a quick 5-minute break.
I've been sponsored by Red Bull.
Ironic considering I'm drinking the energy juice here.
And I hate.
Yeah, true. But I'll stop the recording there.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on a quick break.
Okay, I'm going to grab a drink.
Right, so that's us back from our break. In YouTube land, that was a second. In real world, it was, 10-15 minutes, because we ended up chatting outside for a while. Let me get all the right screens up now. All my abilities away. So once the party sort of died down, I'll get that glove back on. Just because I don't want to forget it.
Mhm.
And then I think we'll head down these bottom stairs down here.
Ooh.
Is Cuba sort of in that corridor still, is he?
Cubert's just kind of, chilling over here at this point.
Okay, as we pass him, I sort of throw a ball bearing into him as like a little treat. I've got 100 of them in a pouch anyway, so just, mate, have a little nom nom.
Reduce that to 99, please.
Yep, have done.
Okay.
And then I'll
Hmm.
scroll down so we can see the second layer.
There we go. This is what you see. There is a door in front of
I shall pop to the door and very quietly test to see if it is locked.
you. Your spidey senses are tingling.
As in from the glove.
Yep.
Doesn't really give me any more information than just there's illusion magic.
Have you touched the door with your glove?
I was about to try and undo the knob, so yeah, I would sort of touch it.
Your hand goes right through it.
Okie dokie, does my face go through it?
Yep.
And what do I see on the other side? Swear to God if it's a dead end again.
Nope.
Okie dokie. In that case, I am going to, as stealthily as I can, pop out and have a look down. Do you want me to roll stealth?
Yes, please.
24.
You are stealthy.
Excellent. Just for anyone who's watching this, who's not part of the group, if that ever bloody happens, the way it's rolling on D20 is it automatically rolls 2D20. The two opposite results. So if you have advantage, you take the highest. If you've got disadvantage, you take the lowest. And if you're just rolling one, you take the one on the left. It does the same for damage. And I take it, is there anything at the end of this corridor, or?
Yes. Each square is 15 foot though, so that's as far as you can see.
Oh wow, that's a really long corridor.
Mm-hmm.
I take it
I'm
you're.
behind him, by the way.
The entire map, every square is 15 foot.
Or even the upstairs.
Yep. You have a sweet crib, my dude.
Yeah, true, we do. I'm just going to move Lazard in as well. There you go. So now you can move your token as well.
Is it dark or anything? The light.
Yes. Do
Yeah,
any of you have dark vision, or have you got a torch or anything like that that you want to use?
Do you have dark vision?
I thought I did on further reading. I do not. I do, however, have a hooded lantern.
I just check to see if I can cast. No, don't have to be continuously touch. So if you got like a torch or something,
Is this just to use your light spell to make it glow?
yeah.
I will take an arrow out.
Okay.
I have a
cast
longbow. What I'm going to do as well is knock it into my bow,
Mm-hmm.
just so if anything goes wrong or I think we're about to be detected, I can just fire it off into the distance so they can't see us.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I can see on either end of the hallway? Is there like any doors or anything that would stand out?
No, it just looks. It's all like cobblestone, and it's pretty flat and unworn. You can see that there's some empty sconces where there would be torches, but nothing in them at the minute.
Mark it up. In that case, I'll sort of cautiously approach 15 feet forward, and I'll whisper to Lazard to sort of stay sort of 15, 20 feet behind me, just in case anything goes wrong.
Very well.
And then I'll inch forward again.
Oh wait, never mind. I'm being an idiot. It's not 15 foot every square.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guess I'll be about here with the first one then.
You know what? You can see the whole corridor. There you go.
I take it this here is a passageway, is it?
Yes. You
And
can
then-
see a little darker hole on each side, kind of.
Yeah, like there's a corridor going off that way.
Yeah.
Cool, I'll pop here and have a little stealthy look up this corridor.
Cool. You can see another door.
Of course I can. I shall pop up to it and glove hand.
No spidey senses.
Is it unlocked?
Yes.
Then I shall peer through it.
Du-du-du-du.
Do they perchance look like prison cells?
Yep.
Well, then I shall pop through and just have a general look around, see if I can spot anything.
Cool. There is a crate here. Crate here. Let me bring up my draw shape. Give you a nice wooden box. Wood.
I take it there's no sort of enemies in the room or anything like that.
No, you would have, seen them.
Yeah. I'll just sort of call Lazard in and get him to close the door behind him.
There you go, there's a crate.
Cool. I shall. What's the longest thing I've got? I think the longest thing I've got is a crowbar. I'm just going to prod it with a crowbar because caution.
No, nothing happens.
Cool. I'll just go ahead and open it then.
Cool. Inside you find 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 pairs of shackles.
To save me work, can I just put them straight in the vault? Or do you want me to stick them on my character first?
Stick them on your character and you can pop them upstairs later. Is Bruce with you?
No. He's keeping an eye on the goblins upstairs.
Okay. Making sure the party doesn't get too hard.
Yeah. He's sort of distracting them by having a drinking contest with them so that they all fall asleep.
He can't get drunk because he's Warforged, isn't he?
He can get drunk. I think he's immune to poison. I don't know if alcohol's considered a poison in
I
D&D
would
terms.
I would consider it a poison in real life, but
I mean, I
he
think
can't
that's
get
up to you.
absolutely smashed. Anyway, if
Yeah.
he drinks really, 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 really quickly, he'll feel tipsy.
Yeah.
But it flushes out of him rather quickly.
The thing I got them to challenge him to a drinking contest. And I take it this is just the 2 cells, yeah?
Yeah.
Are the cell doors serviceable and lockable?
Yes.
Cool. Do they have keys?
Yep. They're hung on the wall. Here. Oh, wait, I can't do that mode again. They're hung on the wall here.
Okay, that's fine. I'll leave them where they are. And what's down here?
There is an open door which leads to another corridor.
Of course there is. I'll sort of motion Lazard to come with me and pop to the corner and have a look around.
5, 10, 15, 20. Dee-dee-dee-dee.
And I take it I can't hear anything suspicious. No.
Not yet, no.
Up to the corner and peer around here.
You see another door.
The worst game of Space Hulk ever. Is it unlocked?
No.
Good dog. In which case, I'll pull my thieves' tools out and try and unlock it.
Cool. Roll me, please.
Oh, 12.
Yeah, it'll do. It opens.
Knock-a-doke. In that case, I shall have a little peer through.
Du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
Ah, more cells and crates.
Roll me another stealth check, please, just to make sure you have maintained it. Gary, can you do one for me too, please?
Sure.
I got 24 again.
Yep, you're all right.
It's a crit fail.
Can you roll me another d20 to confirm how badly you fail?
Average 10.
Not too badly then. Right, let me bring it. Bring it. Bring it. That one. As you come into the room, this box on the other side of the room seems completely still, but this box rattles and bursts at the bottom, and out comes some hairy swarm of rat boys.
Okay then.
Roll me initiative, please.
22.
Down.
Also 22. That's a natural
Nice.
20.
Fair enough. Was yours a natural 20 as well, Ben, or do you get more advantage?
I get +3 instead of +2.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 19.
Yeah, so that'd be Gary first, and then and let me roll it for the rats. Do they get any bonuses? Nope. Roll 1d20. They suck.
We can
Nice.
see that, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Here we go then. So, Gary, do you want to go first?
Where are they?
Let me see if I can bring up a token that's already there.
Is it just the one rat, or is it like a bunch of them?
The swarm.
It's one swarm, technically. Is that even a rat? That's a dead rat.
I'll do.
Oh, yeah, I'll
Pretty
use it.
soon anyway.
Here is a swarm of rat. So you've moved in.
Yeah. And I will cast. Thank you. I will cast a firebolt at them.
Hell yeah.
It's a crit fail again.
Can you confirm it for me, please?
Well, God, if you set my nice shiny hood on fire.
$17.
So it's not an epic crit fail. You set the box behind it on fire, giving it some singeing burns, but nothing that seems to affect.
So far, I've made 3 rolls. I've crit failed, crit success, and then crit failed.
Oh dear.
Nice. At least you're consistent with the crits. Not which way they're going.
No.
Ben?
So I'm gonna free action drop my bow.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action draw my combat gear. And I'm gonna whoop while I still have the element of surprise and do a stabby stabby.
Roll me a stabby stabby, please.
23 because I get advantage.
That's definitely a hit.
And then 4 from my sneak, 8 from my attack, so 12 damage total.
Mm-hmm. As you take a swing, you lunge at one of the rats there and you just completely obliterate it. You
Nice.
chop it in half exactly like the picture.
I am okay with this.
Yes. And it's rat's go now. What can it do? Because you're in base to base technically with it, it's going to go to bite you.
Do swarm of rats not have a range of 0, so they have to be in the same square?
Oh yeah, he's going to move into the same square because he can.
Mhm.
Roll. GM roll. 1d20. Do you get any bonuses? I don't think you do. Yes, you do. 20. What's your AC?
18. No, I've got my shield out.
It missed.
And that is why I got my shield out.
Yes. you perpetually have your gear out, to be honest.
Well, I dropped my bow and pulled my combat gear.
Mm.
Because I knew I'd be doing a bit of body blocking.
You yeeted it off your back to go, I have it. There you go. So it misses epically. It goes to kind of jump on you, and you just kind of put your shield up, and it bounces off.
Nice.
Back to you, Gary.
Try this again. That's an.
This is taking the piss, so I'm going to go with the 21.
Yeah, that's
that's
my
a
third
hit.
crit fail.
Out of 4 rolls.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to go with the 21, if you don't mind.
If you're sure.
Yep.
Do you want me to just roll it again?
No, roll me damage.
5.
Hell yeah. Still touch.
do you want me to move my guy out of the way?
But there was still a crit fail in there.
The algorithm hates you, but this time you shoot a fireball at it just as it's bouncing off of Regnak's shield as you catch it in midair, and you just burn all of the hair off it, so now it looks like a naked mole rat
Oh.
with this bubbling, blistering skin. Ben?
No, I'm kind of hungry right now.
What?
What?
Singed rat.
I'm a bird man. Everything is food to me.
I have leftover pizza. That's all.
I meant my character was getting hungry. I take it there's still enough rats to constitute an enemy, right?
Mhm.
Cool. In that case, I will stabby stab. But I don't get advantage anymore. 7. I think that is a miss.
Yep.
We're not doing very well here, are we?
It's luck of the dice, isn't it?
Yeah, so just as you go to swing for it, as it's just hit the floor, it kind of rolls over in a puddle of its own kind of like blood and stuff. And for its turn, it's going to move over here and try to get away. How much movement do they have? 30 feet.
Same as.
As it moves out of 5 feet of me, I can attack of opportunity.
Yep.
I will use my reaction to make another attack and miss again.
Fair enough. So it manages to get all the way over here. And what it's going to do there, because it's now close to this box, is wake the other ones. New. Today. I'll give this one full health again. And I will roll initiative for it. Roll 1d20. Okay. Never mind, I didn't put the slash in, or GM roll it.
You got most of it though, so it's fine.
We'll get used to the algorithms one day. It's even worse.
Algorithm hating everyone.
Yeah. So it goes Gary, and then it goes Ben, and then it goes Rats 1, and then it goes Stu. So technically, because they've just been surprised and woken up from their long-awaiting slumber, they don't get to act this turn. I should actually be on top of the box. So it's back to you, Gary.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of go. The box is on fire, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm gonna kind of go next to it. Because and I'm gonna try and go for that one again.
Cool.
10.
It's a hit.
Really, a 10's a hit?
Yep. 10 is their armor class, so
Okay.
equal to or above. Roll me damage, please.
5 again.
Do you not also get a +5 for that?
No, I don't get plus anything for my damage.
Fair enough. It just says firebolt +5.
Yeah, that's to hit, love.
That's to hit.
Um,
I'm at plus. That's what I mean. I'm at +5 to hit, and I've still been.
There we go. So as you launch another firebolt at it, you've burned off like half of its body. It's just kind of like its two front legs kind of crawling around now. And it has a movement penalty I will impose on it, so it can only move 15 feet in a turn now instead of 30.
One thing to note, my weapon does piercing my rapier does piercing damage, which the swarm of rats is resistant to, so you'd half any damage I do to it.
Ah. Oops.
I suppose, yeah, that makes sense. Wouldn't it?
Because there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, you don't slice them. You thrust.
Yeah,
Rapier.
they basically have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
What was your last damage roll?
It doesn't.
Your piercing was 8, so I'll add another 4 health back to it.
Add another 6, because I'm sneak attack damage as well. Oh no, sneak doesn't do piercing damage.
No, sneak is just.
Oh no,
flat
it's of the same type as the weapon, because it's
Oh.
added on. So I did 12 piercing, so it should have only taken 6.
So I'll add another 6. On. Whoops. There we go.
Oh, if only I was a level 2 paladin right now. I can add D8 radiant damage.
Ooh. Chonky. Back to you, Ben.
Da, 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 da. 5, 10, 15, 20. Stabby stab. Let me get my character sheet back up. A crit.
It's a
Double
crit
crit.
success.
That's 2
I'm
crits,
gonna-
by the way.
But yeah, so yeah. um,
So that'd be because you do it different to rolling the dice twice, don't you?
yeah, I do it so that you always have max damage on your first damage roll, but your second roll is whatever you roll it as, so it's always guaranteed to be more, but not necessarily all the more.
Yeah, so that'd be 16 damage, halved to 8 then. Did the rats fart when I killed them, or?
Yes. They kind of just squeezed.
Yeah, I've now got a rat kebab on my
Yep.
rapier.
Yeah.
But I might toast over that burning box, if I'm honest, because they smell good.
Weirdo.
I'm a
Anyway,
bird man.
This rat go. Boop. He's gonna move in. 5, 10, 10. Yep. He's gonna jump on you. Rolling to hit. With plus 2. Yep. 0, 20. Ooh, it hit.
Okie dokie.
Not any modifiers to damage?
Whatever its modifier to hit is take 2 away, and that'll be its modifier to damage, basically, as a rule of thumb. Unless it's a
Yeah.
super powerful enemy, in which case they have a higher proficiency bonus, but
I don't.
Yeah, no.
I don't think Swarm of Rats is like a level 20 monster.
Yeah, well. Oh. It does 1 damage?
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and it gets no bonuses.
So it just bites me and I'm like, oh, you bastard. And,
It
Yeah.
pulls one of your feathers out.
oh, you cunt. I'm getting older. I've only got so many feathers left.
Back to Gary then.
Okay. You got rolled 9.
That's a miss. So as you go to shoot your fireball, you're kind of thinking, it's right on top of Rick, maybe not. And you kind of just shoot it above, and it kind of shoots some fire sparks everywhere as it hits off the ceiling. And on to Ben.
I think if I can do something more interesting than just stabby stab.
Not really.
No, I was thinking if I could actually throw some onto the fire.
I suppose, yeah, you could do a strength thing and grapple them.
I'd have to let go of my weapons though. Have a free hand.
Do you not have a free hand?
No, I've got
Not
shield in
shield.
one, sword in the other.
Okay.
So I'm going to back off, so I'm still within 5 feet.
Mhm.
But I'm going to be slowly drawing them towards the fire.
Mhm.
And as
Um.
I'm backing up, because I'm still within 5 feet, no opportunity attack.
Mhm.
And then I'll stabby stab. Motherfucker.
Yeah, the miss.
Most
So as
definitely
you're
miss.
pressing back, you kind of just swing above them as they're dropping to the floor.
I like how we were both at +5 and we've only hit them like 3 times total.
Yeah.
with an AC of 10.
You know, it should be a 25% chance of missing.
Yeah,
Hopefully you've exhausted your 25% chances of missing.
Nah.
we've gone way above that 25%.
The longer roll
Mhm.
20's open, the worse it rolls anyway.
Oh dear. Should
Is that
we?
true?
I don't know if that's true. I'm just pulling that off my backside.
I doubt it.
But my algorithm.
The rats are gonna jump on top of you again and
Yeah,
try
that's
to
fine.
go for the bite. Um, and it's a miss.
That's fine, because our chance of missing is about their chance of hitting me
Hmm.
Which means it's going to be hitting.
every turn. Yeah.
So yeah, back to Gary. This is going
Yeah.
well.
Chuck, you do
Yeah.
know it'd be a lot easier and potentially quicker is if you just roll a dice.
Hmm.
Because we can't see you anyway. So it's always going to be hidden. It's just because typing out the formula was it /GMRD20 plus whatever.
Slash GM roll 1d20 plus 2, yeah.
Yeah. And if you just rolled a dice, because it's literally we can't see it. If you know what I mean.
Alternatively,
Next time you actually get
Yeah.
a dice. Yeah.
if you click in the text box and press
Mhm.
up, it'll cycle through your last few dice rolls.
Okay.
Ah,
So you can just click in,
that's-
press up twice, and that'll get you your d20 to hit.
yeah,
Oh,
I'll
for
do
goodness,
that.
that's another crit fail.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think the longer roll 20's open, the worse the rolls are actually.
That is genuinely 5. Is it 5 crit fails I've had?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Can I take the 21 again? Because, like, you're a level 2 magic person wizard, and you're not thick. Like, no. I'm going with that's a hit.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't know what that does.
Yeah, no, it's not a hit.
No, I know. No, I'm saying I rolled an 8 for the
Oh, for confirming the crit
for
fail.
confirming the crit.
To be fair, that 8, if you added your 5, would have been a hit.
Yeah, it would be 13. Can I set the
Nothing
other
bad
one on fire?
happens. No, nothing bad happens. We're on to Ben again then.
I can't. I've never seen that before.
It's ridiculous.
Again, I'm just going to pull back 5 feet and stabby stab.
That's a hit.
And 10 piercing damage, so that's down to 5.
Yep. Beep.
It's basically if I can draw them so they're in base contact with both of us, I then get advantage to hit, which means I get my sneak attack.
So the mice are gonna rats are gonna go on top of you again and try and hit you with a bite. They critically miss. Let me
They accidentally bite themselves.
look. I'm gonna GM roll to confirm. 1d20.
As long as they don't fail as badly as the goblins who now believe I'm a god, it's fine.
Alright, I'm gonna take a picture of this and send it into the chat.
They can't fail worse than me.
Probably did.
Friggin' 5 crit fails in what 8 dice roll.
Mm-hmm.
Check the Discord.
Yeah, they just crit failed twice in a row, didn't they?
Yep. So they do in fact bite themselves.
Well, considering it's a swarm, they just bite each other.
Yeah. So let me roll. Technically there's 3 of them, so I will roll. They accidentally kill one of themselves.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's only 2 left and they're a bit damaged.
Fair enough.
They went into like this kind of Illuminati trifecta of biting each other's tails. Anyway, Gary?
Well, I can now do a move which literally cannot miss. Magic missile. It always hits. So
No way.
that's 5 points of damage. Oh god, it's force, not pierce. So that's 5, 4, 3. That was easy.
5, 6,
So that is
7, 11,
12.
12.
that's 12 points of damage. Yeah.
You completely nuke the other one. They're dead.
I used one of my spell slots. I'm just getting fed up with them.
Yeah, fair one though. That's the kind of fight where I'd have been using Divine Smite if I had it.
Just to get rid of them.
Yeah, I hate swarms of rats. As it sort of the combat ends, I sort of like put my hand where they've bitten me and sort of done a bit of damage. Let me read the description.
How often can you use healing?
As much as I want until the pool ends.
To the pool end.
Yeah, so I get a pool of HP equal to
Okay.
5 times my paladin level.
Oh, okay.
And basically, because it's only 1 HP, I'll have 4 HP left of healing.
Okay, I get you.
What you'd see is sort of like almost like a little light glowing from my hand. And I go back up to full health. At which point I'm very confused because like the cut just disappeared and I'm like, what the fuck?
You grew the feather back. You were like, whoa.
Yeah. And I was just like, look over at you and I'm like, was that you?
No, I don't know healing magic.
God, this day's getting weird.
It seems you've been blessed with another power.
Not sure I'm comfortable with this.
It's still divine.
At
You've
which
been blessed
point
by divine intervention.
I'm
It would
roasting
be
the
interesting.
rats over the box.
It would be interesting to know which god has blessed you, but
I mean, it would be nice to know. At the very least.
normally the god would speak to its follower.
Perhaps
Or
it,
emissary in this case.
perhaps it is and I just can't hear it.
There are no languages you misunderstand, is there? No speaking in one's ear.
Not that I've heard of. Not that I've heard, sorry. I mean, I've heard of it. You know, it's normally crazy people, but... Not sure. Once the rats start cooking, I'll pull one off and offer it to you.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to start eating them off my rapier like a kebab.
I'll put it in my bag for later. We just had a feast, I'm not that hungry.
I'm always hungry. After I've sort of snacked on them, I'm going to come over here and just like kick this box, make sure nothing else is coming out of it.
Nothing else comes out.
Cool, and then I'll have a little look inside, see if there's anything worthwhile.
No, it was just the rats. There's some feces in there.
Nice. And these cells, are they similarly functional and keys on a hook on the wall, are they?
Yes.
Cool.
Are there 4 keys on this key?
Yeah, I'm actually going to draw where the hooks are, so I remember.
And there are 4 keys on.
Yeah. there. And there.
Cool. So come back over. Is that still burning? Is it that box? I'll just get my water skin out and just throw some water on it. Just douse it.
Cool. It's no longer burning.
Cool. And then back to this corner, and I'm gonna stealth up again.
Cool.
Me.
Not quite stealthy.
Yeah, it's fine. Basically anything without a negative wisdom score will passively find me.
Oh. You can hear from here where you can't quite see some banging and shlooping noises.
I'll let Lazard know and I'll peek around the corner. I've recovered my bow, by the way, and I've got it in my hands again.
Some what noise, sorry?
Slurping.
Slurping.
Yeah. Slurping.
Can I hear it?
Yes.
Do I recognize it as anything?
You might do. Do you want to make an intelligence roll for me?
Just a flat intelligence.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I swear, that's a crit fail. 16.
It sounds like a gelatinous cube.
A big one?
Of reasonable size, probably teenage size, not quite fully grown. You know?
So in between our own one and the one we fought.
Probably about the size your own one is now, actually.
Okay.
And can I see it down the corridor?
No, there's a door.
I explained that it sounds like a gelatinous cube is up there.
Because they are
Which is quite-
notoriously hard to see.
Which is quite annoying if you think about it, because we had to go on a quest to find one, and there was one under here the whole time.
But without the one we found, we wouldn't have been able to get down here to find this one.
Exactly. It's just we're just pawns in a game.
Aye. They are very, very hard to see, so I'm gonna get a couple of ball bearings and just roll them down the corridor.
As you roll them, they seem to just hit the door where you can hear the slurping. It seems to be coming from the other side.
Okay, so they sort of bounce up against the door and roll backwards a bit. They don't just suddenly stop.
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, I'll go up to the door and I'll pick them back up as well.
Cool. You still have 99.
Yeah. And does it sound like it's right the other side of the door?
Yes.
And if I try the door handle, is it locked?
You can't tell, it's very resistant. It seems to be embedded in something on the other side.
Oh, it'd just be by turning the handle though, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so there's actual resistance on turning the handle.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got two options.
The other side of the door handle feels like it might be inside a gelatinous cube.
Lazard, as a student of
Yeah.
magic, would a gelatinous cube be able to dissolve its way through a door?
Out of character, I don't know. Can they? I would assume
Yeah.
so.
Eventually.
So because we've got two options. We can go in and
Yeah.
clear it out. Or I've got some of these and I pull pitons out my pack. They're just like little hooks. Because what we could
Okay.
do is hammer these through the bottom of the door and just lock it in.
It would eventually eat that too, by the way.
Yeah, it'd eventually get out, but not anytime soon, right?
No.
Or do you just want to boot down the door and burn it with magic?
Well, it can't really boot down the door because it sounds like it's actually eating the door right now.
Put a hole in the door and you could spell magic through it.
If you We can try that, yes, and see how it reacts. And
So
how would you propose making a hole in the door?
the wooden door, Chuck?
Yeah, wooden door. I'd ask for a strength check.
I was going to smash it with my rapier or a dagger.
Okay.
Yeah?
Or I do have a hammer, which
Would probably be the best.
I could
Yeah, that would be more
dagger,
effective.
hammer, turn my dagger into a chisel and just punch a hole in it.
Go for it.
Do you want me to roll damage with my dagger or something?
Yeah?
5 damage.
You've punched a hole in the door.
Cool. I'll move to the side so Lazard can magic through the hole.
Can I fit a firebolt through that or something?
Yeah, it'll burn the edges, but it'll fit through.
Okay. I'll cast firebolt there.
I'm
What's
going to
the-
take it to be auto hit because you're putting your hand up against the hole, basically.
Okay.
So just roll me damage.
Bit of hit anyway.
Would have hit anyway.
3, which is pitiful.
From the other side, you can kind of hear a little bit of a groan, and then you hear some slurping moving away.
I think it's moving away from the door.
In that case, I'm going to quickly hammer and dagger back, get my bow out, and then I'm going to try the door quickly. Is it unlocked?
Yep.
Cool, I'm going to throw the door open and just fire an arrow down the corridor at it.
Right.
And
Okay.
I would have been, say, preparing a spell, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Roll me to hit with the arrow.
Because it's sort of like an ambush, would I have advantage?
Yeah.
Cool. That's a crit then.
It's either a crit fail or a crit pass.
Hey, either way, it's a crit.
Yeah.
I forgot to do my sneak attack as well. 2 secs, I'll just reroll that damage. So I do 7 sneak attack damage. 16 arrow damage.
How much damage did you just do in total then?
So because it was a crit, I got 1 sneak attack plus the full 6 for the sneak attack.
Yeah.
Bringing my sneak attack to 7. 8 for the longbow crit. And then I rolled a 5 plus 3. So that's 16 plus 7.
24.
23 damage. As you see, my arrow just slowly get absorbed.
Yeah. And you can see it leads up the stairs and you've just shot Cubit.
For fuck's sake.
Cubit's gonna go upstairs now.
Fucking hell, right. Cupid, come here. Gonna run up to him and I'm just gonna push my hand against him and see if I can heal him a little bit.
Yeah?
Cool, I'm gonna lay on hands, heal him by 4 hit points, and give him another couple of ball bearings.
Okay.
Sorry, Cubert.
I suspected it might be, but
If you suspected it might be, why
no,
didn't
I'm
you say
saying out
it?
of character.
Okay.
If you'd counted the squares, it leads exactly to where the floor is.
Yeah, I just checked the map and it does.
I'm not a cartographer.
Cubit's at the top of the stairs now.
I'll leave him to it.
He's back up to 60 odd hit points out of his 84.
When the fuck did he get all this health?
He's
I
been
suppose-
eating a lot.
Yeah, he's grown rapidly because he's been eating all the stone, hasn't he?
He may have a bit of keg in him.
Oh, for fuck's sake, we've got an alcoholic fucking gelatinous cube who's
That's
now got
why
an
he was
arrow.
understanding.
Sorry, Cubert.
He's not sentient. He doesn't mind.
I still feel bad though.
If he's
Fuck.
sentient, how does it? If he's not sentient, how does he know not to be eating the goblin?
They just kind of move out of his way.
Can we find like a jacket that won't be dissolved into him that we can just put on him so we know he's our gelatinous cube? So then the goblins can see him easier as well so they don't get eaten.
You can probably purchase like a bead that can't be digested by them that glows, and then put that inside him, and it'll just kind of float in the middle eternally.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on my shopping list.
Okay. I'll create that magic item for you.
So, yep, never mind. Let's just work our way back. Nothing to see here. Nothing happened. And then we'll get here. Do you want me to reroll stealth because we've done some stupid shit?
Yes, please.
16.
You stealth.
And then I'll have a look around this corridor here, whilst like still muttering under my breath a little bit.
Andor.
One of them was still a crit fail.
Yeah. Locked or unlocked?
Unlock.
I shall have a peek.
Boo.
Yeah, more cells. At which point I'm going to put my bow away and pull a... Well, actually, there's no crates. So,
Give me a perception check, please.
Both of us.
Yes, please.
15.
You perceive it. With my freehand drawing skills.
I crit fail.
Lazard sees everything.
Lazard, you will see in this corner of the cell. There is what looks like a bat's nest.
A rat's nest.
Bat.
A bat nest. Okay.
Winged rodents.
I know. But I see no bats.
You see bats.
I see bats.
You see bats.
Singular or plural?
Plural.
Almost like a swarm of bats.
Yes.
And have they noticed us?
No.
I'll say to Ragnar, there seems to be a bat's nest over there. I point it out.
And I'll sort of whisper back because I know they've got quite good hearing.
Mm-hmm.
We could fight them,
Well, I think we need to clear this.
we could get the
Or-
goblins to fight them.
They're drunk.
Oh, bloody goblins, lightweights. And I'll knock an arrow and just fire it in.
Okay. I'm trying to find a list of bats.
There's literally a swarm of bats enemy, by the way. Oh, you're trying to find
Yeah,
a
yeah.
picture. Yeah.
Find pictures, yeah.
Got a 7 from it. Even though I spot them first. Lord.
Ooh. Bats.
I got a 21 for initiative.
Fair enough.
Just wait till I go swashbuckler and I can add my charisma modifier to it as well.
Just multi-class again.
No, that's a path for rogue.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's in the Xanthos guide.
Okay.
Or you can go scout, which gives you advantage on initiative rolls,
Huh.
which actually would mathematically work out better.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
And it also gives me expertise.
There you go. Oh, wait, that was the wrong way around. Yeah.
Cubert.
You feel bad, don't you?
Kinda.
Sorry.
I mean, I should have thought about it. I have a gelatinous cube about that size. I just didn't notice he'd grown that big so fast. You know, they just grow up so quickly.
You fed him an extra ball bearing. He's been eating literal caved-in rubble.
And it's, you know, but grow up at a reasonable rate, not, half-ton sun.
He a big chonker. Anyway, you fired an arrow?
Oh yeah, I should probably roll for that. 15.
Yep. Roll me damage, please.
That's 13. I imagine they have the same resistance. So, 7
Yeah.
damage. No, that 6 damage. I rolled max damage with my longbow, by the way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I'm getting advantage because of the ambusher trait by the Kenku. So any surprised enemies, I have advantage to hit.
Nice.
I didn't mean to do that.
It's the bats go, anyway.
I didn't mean to do that. I just pressed the
It would have hit, so rubbish.
The one time you don't crit fail.
The bats. Center. Yeah?
Are you sure you haven't set it to 15 foot a square?
Yeah, I have. I thought I saved it. Okay. Thank you.
There we go.
Go back. Yup.
Can it do that?
They go into attack.
Can it do that?
Yep.
What? Do it flies through some metal bars?
They're just cages.
Yeah, so there'll be sufficient gaps for the small bats
Oh,
to
it's
fly
not
through.
like jail cell from wall to floor.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Even if it was, they'd be able to fit through the bars anyway. Or the gaps between the bars. Gonna be pedantic.
Fair enough.
They're gonna try and bite you, Ben.
Yeah, I suppose I did shoot them, so.
Fuck.
If they count as flanked, they might be at disadvantage. I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. They rolled a crit 1.
Oh, yeah, who cares?
Confirming it, they're okay.
At least they didn't start eating each other.
Yeah. See, that's them done, Gary.
Yeah, I'm gonna move back to give to like Zard. Seem to be able to.
Do you want me to move their token?
Yeah. Hang on. There. It was attacking me. Then
It missed.
I can't move without getting an opportunity. I can move 5 feet without getting an opportunity.
No, because it's got a enemy within 5 feet. It won't be able to opportunity attack.
It didn't move away. It's still technically on top.
Yeah, he's on about if he moves outside of 5 foot of it. Normally, he'd get the bat would get an attack of opportunity against him, unless he used the disengage action. Although, if you stay within 5 feet of it, I get advantage to attack.
Yeah. I'm just kind of moving here.
Fair enough.
And 2. Okay. I don't want to cast Ice Knife.
Because it would hit us both.
It would hit us both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it a dex saving throw? Or that only half's damage, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's only.
Yeah,
Oh
don't
no,
ice knife.
no, it's if you succeed, you don't take any.
You can ice knife if you want. I'll probably be okay.
Yeah, but I might not be.
Yeah. I'd say I could heal you, but I healed Cuba instead.
Chromatic.
Chromatic orb.
I don't have ruby.
Oh,
Dust
you
or
don't have the
gold.
diamond, isn't it?
Yeah, ruby dust.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the thing I read said a diamond worth 50 gold.
So I'm going to.
Either or.
Uh,
If it doesn't have a cost attached to it, you can use it.
yeah, but it does have.
Oh, okay.
It says ruby dust 50 gold.
Fair enough.
I'm going to.
It's a miss, I'm afraid.
That's all I can do. So.
Yeah, I think that makes it Ben's turn.
Well, I'll drop my bow and arrow, draw my melee gear, and I'm going to step in. Just so that the only attack target it's got is me. And then I'll rapier with advantage because flank. So I get a
That's a hit.
16. And then 10 half to 5 damage.
I like I'm supposed to be doing the damage because I'm not getting halved, and yet you've done way more damage than me.
To be fair, I am putting myself in position to get advantage a lot.
And I'm just missing.
Yeah. To be fair, if I didn't have advantage, I'd have missed that.
Yes.
When you go into hit, you just slash through one of the bats, taking its wing off completely as it bleeds and dies on the floor.
Nice. That'll be my snack
Yeah.
for later. And that's the end of my turn, by the way.
Bat go then. Mm. Mm. Attacking you, it misses. So back to Gary. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. No.
So it just went really deathly silent for a second.
I'm getting tired of these devils. Wow.
Nice. Consistent.
Yeah, that's 3 1s, by the way, that I would have rolled on a d4.
Fucking hell.
Oh, fuck's sake, so it is.
Yeah.
6 damage, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty shit luck, if I'm honest.
I think my character needs a rest.
Yes.
I think.
You wipe out the second bat, just burning it to a crisp, pre-cooked and ready for Ben's character to eat.
A magic missile sends out basically magical darts, not fires.
It'll be more of a skewer than a burn.
Yeah, but not
It's
piercing damage.
already ready and skewered for the fire.
Magical kebab.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. 3 1.
Yep, Ben's go.
Not much else I can do, but have a stab. That's a 15. And then 5 damage again.
5. You could say that the last bat is bloodied.
Fair enough.
They have 6 HP each.
Fair enough.
Am I doing it? Am I going it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to attack you. Ooh, that's a crit success.
Is that on me, is that?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll take the crit to the face.
Sarah. What is that hit that?
Pretty sure they're a D4 off the top of my head.
Yeah, D4.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's 4 damage straight away.
Yeah.
D4. 7 total.
Damn.
Yeah.
How much HP do you have?
16 total, so I'm down to 9.
Okay.
Because I did put
Thank
myself
you.
back up to full after the after the rat bit my ear.
The last bat just kind of like latches onto your face and digs its little finger claws from its wings into your eyeball.
Oh, bastard.
Yeah, you're not having a good time. Gary's go. Hit,
I'm,
hit.
yeah, it's dead.
Oh, you magic missile in again.
A magic missile in again.
Yeah.
This is the last room in here, and we're both going for a nice long rest. So
Damn right, I'm
this
cracking
is my
into some of
last
that ale.
spell, so
Hell yeah.
wish I could have rolled that last turn. But yeah, so that's 9 points of damage.
Yeah, another one skewered and ready for dinner. Blech.
As it sort of falls to the floor, I'm just going to look at that and go, "You're going to eat that?"
And no, they're all yours.
Oh, one quick thing.
Yeah.
And I pull my hammer from the belt and just go up to the nest and just smash it with a hammer.
I was
Fair
just
enough.
going to set it on fire, but yeah, sure.
This is more satisfying for me right now.
Fair enough.
And then I sort of take the bats and stick them in my pocket.
I think we've explored this entire area, and it's just all it is a giant jail cell or a dungeon.
I mean, could come in handy.
If you get more goblins, I suppose.
Hmm.
Unless you're thinking of taking people captive.
Well, we'll probably have enemies at some point, so...
Very well. Shall we return to the festivities?
Yeah, let's go for it. And then as we get upstairs, I'm gonna like pull one of the bats out and just sort of like push it into Cubert. Like, sorry.
Cuba's up here.
Hmm?
Cuba's up here, slurping around.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll actually go look him out and give him a bat. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if you can notice it. I don't know. But then I'll have some drink. I'll cook up the bats and sort of. I'll have 2 bats left and a rat or 2, and I'll sort of share a meal with my captains.
Are all the goblins kind of sloshed?
Very.
Fair enough.
As in, most of them are asleep. In piles.
Yeah.
I propose. Well, if everything's okay with you, I'm going to retire.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I'm not far from a kit myself.
Very well.
The last thing I'll do before bed is I'm just gonna go check and make sure the guards are alert and stuff like that.
Okay. Everything seems alright anyway. They seem to be on their best behaviour.
Good.
I'll set up an alarm.
Cool. I'm gonna sleep in the guard room tonight just because they're down at 4-man team, so I wanna just be making sure things are ticking along. I know Grimjaw would have not drank. Keep an eye on the guard, and they'll now have the surcoats. Just I'll help out running the guard, so I'll be doing shifts as well on guard.
And I'll be. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that happens overnight?
You become level 3.
Cool.
As in, my alarm didn't go off, so.
I'm just gonna reset all my HP. My lay on hands up to 5. My divine sense up to 3. Did I recover my arrow from the bats?
Yeah, and you want to put all of the shackles
fair.
in the boat.
Yeah.
You skewered one with your bow, so I'm presuming you just picked up with your bow, with your arrow.
Yeah, probably.
And you picked up the bat.
Right, let me get the armory. I'll use that for equipment. Are they iron or?
Iron, yeah.
Yeah. It
We'll
was-
have to call it soon, guys.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It is sort of like 3:15,
3:15,
so. That's about everything I've got. I'm just gonna level my character up, but no point recording that if I'm honest.
No, that'll be something we'll just talk about at the start of the next section.
Yeah. So if anyone not in the D&D group did join us in watching this video, cheerio. If not, then I don't know who I'm talking to right now. So
But the void.
bye, maybe. Hi, Bruce.